coming public trial, while others argue there is no confirmed evidence of anything suspicious. Behind the scenes, some commentators have claimed that concern increased after the possibility of cameras in the courtroom became part of the discussion. Legal analysts and online observers have suggested that a public trial could bring attention to details that have been debated for months, especially if witnesses speak under oath. Timelines, phone records, and earlier public statements may face new scrutiny once the proceedings become more visible. People following the case online have also raised questions about the early stages of the investigation. Some commentators continue to discuss disputed claims that Tyler Robinson may have already been in custody before a Discord message appeared, and critics say that detail has driven ongoing speculation across social media. With the trial expected to receive major attention, pressure appears to be growing on everyone connected to the case as viewers call for clearer answers and transparency. The defense conversation online has become more complicated after Baron Coleman shared material that he claimed showed Tyler Robinson was already inside the Washington County Sheriff's Office at 6:50 p.m. on September 11, 2025. Critics quickly focused on the timeline, asking how a Discord message described as a confession could appear after the time Robinson was allegedly in custody. That question has sparked major debate across social media and independent commentary spaces, though the full context remains disputed. According to the timeline being discussed online, Tyler Robinson was allegedly being questioned by investigators around 6:25 p.m. on September 11th. However, the Discord message connected to the alleged confession was said to have appeared at 8:57 p.m. that same night. In the message, Tyler allegedly wrote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments." Viewers are now debating how those details fit together and whether the timeline has been fully explained. That timeline has become one of the biggest discussion points surrounding the case. Legal commentators, online investigators, and social media users have been examining the sequence of events, trying to understand how the disputed custody records and the Discord message could exist side by side without raising questions. Some critics have called it one of the most confusing details discussed so far, while others caution that more official information is needed. Sources following the legal process have suggested that the upcoming televised trial could place those disputed timestamps under public review. If courtroom evidence, witness testimony, and digital records are presented openly, analysts believe both sides may face pressure to explain each part of the timeline. Meanwhile, online discussion continues as people debate whether key information was mishandled, delayed, misunderstood, or simply not fully explained to the public. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you all for everything.
The consequences of me being right is that there is a multi-agency cover-up to frame Tyler Robinson. Why? Because he then supposedly, an hour and a half after that Miranda recording, if I'm right, the Miranda reading, he supposedly confessed to his buddies on Discord. And if I'm right, who the hell wrote that Discord message? Who wrote it? Did Tyler Robinson write that Discord message? And if Tyler didn't write that Discord message and someone faked it, why? Why did they fake the Discord message? And if they faked the Discord message, did they fake the text messages? Well, we can't know because they're not going to introduce the forensic evidence of this. They're just going to introduce the screenshots.
That message has become one of the most discussed pieces of the wider controversy. Critics online have claimed the situation feels more suspicious as more questions circulate, with people pointing to what they describe as inconsistencies and unanswered details around the case. For many following the story, the debate is not only about the disputed Tyler Robinson timeline, it is also about alleged irregularities connected to Turning Point itself. Sources familiar with Charlie Kirk's event planning have claimed that security preparations were usually handled with care before his appearances, whether the crowd was large or small. According to those claims, Charlie's security team often contacted venues ahead of scheduled events to coordinate safety measures and logistics. The detail raising questions, according to online commentators, involves what allegedly happened after Utah Valley University. Charlie was reportedly scheduled to appear at Charis Bible College in Colorado the next day, yet critics have claimed Brian Harpole, the head of security, did not contact the school beforehand to discuss protection plans or event safety. Supporters may dispute the meaning of that detail, and no public conclusion has been confirmed.
Next day, right on September 11th, immediately following UVU, his next event, which was for some reason barely publicized, was to take place at Charis Bible College. September 11th. We broke the story, actually. We also broke a story that a security plan was not put in place for that event, which is remarkable. And Brian Harpole has all but confirmed our reporting in his court filing against me. Look at what he wrote regarding Charis Bible. He said, according to Owens's supposed tipster, there was, quote, no security plan in place at Charis Bible College, claiming that it was odd that Harpole's team planned Kirk's security strategy for Utah Valley University 2 weeks in advance, but failed to contact the chief of police for Woodland, Colorado to plan security for Charis Bible College.
That claim has raised more questions among people following the case. Critics argue that if advanced security coordination was normally treated as a priority, then the alleged lack of communication before the Colorado event appears notable. Online discussions have grown around whether standard procedures were ignored, delayed, or handled differently for reasons that have not been fully explained. Investigators, journalists, and commentators are also paying attention to internal timelines connected to the event schedule, security planning, and who may have known what in the days leading up to the incident. Supporters of the organization argue there may be reasonable explanations behind the confusion, while skeptics say the growing list of questions adds pressure ahead of the televised trial. Many viewers are now watching to see whether the courtroom process clarifies these details or leaves the debate unresolved. On top of that, critics have continued challenging public claims surrounding the reported injuries from the event. Online commentators and self-described firearms experts have argued that if Tyler Robinson allegedly used a .30-06 rifle, the physical details described publicly may not fully match some narratives that circulated afterward. Those debates have fueled more speculation online, with people questioning whether medical and forensic details have been clearly explained to the public.
The Kirk thing's weird because now there's video footage from behind. The round that he was with was a 30-06, which is a big round. That's a round that you kill a moose with. And it doesn't even have an exit wound.
Right.
It don't make no sense. It makes zero sense.
The controversy grew further after reports circulated claiming former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Ken was allegedly discouraged from looking into the event before later stepping down from his position. That claim triggered another wave of public suspicion across social media, especially among people already doubtful about the official timeline. However, the circumstances remain disputed, and no official confirmation has settled the online debate. Because of all this, Erika's public appearances have faced heavier scrutiny. When she appeared on live television and said she had seen the autopsy report, reviewed evidence, and believed there was strong proof against Tyler Robinson, critics online began raising questions about how much she knew and when she knew it. However, no public evidence has confirmed wrongdoing by Erika, and many of the accusations circulating online remain unverified speculation.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all.
She is evil. When I watched that, I went, she's evil. I am so infuriated watching that back because she's lying. She's objectively lying and she's acting, right? It was because of that clip that when I went into meet with her, I was going, oh, okay, maybe she has something that the public doesn't. I spoke to the, I'm in touch with the lawyers. I've seen the autopsy report. And then I sit down with her 72 hours later and she tells me, and her lawyer confirms to me, that they have nothing more than what the public has seen.
Now the upcoming televised trial is being viewed by many as the moment when those competing narratives could be examined in public. Supporters of the official investigation believe the courtroom proceedings may reinforce the evidence gathered by law enforcement, while critics argue the hearings could highlight contradictions that have been debated online for months. Either way, public interest in the case has grown as viewers prepare to follow the developments closely. Legal analysts say the public focus will likely center on timelines, digital evidence, witness testimony, and forensic details connected to the investigation. Every statement made under oath may face immediate scrutiny from both the media and online audiences reviewing each detail. Meanwhile, pressure surrounding Erika, turning point figures, and investigators continues to grow as speculation spreads across social media, even though many of the claims circulating publicly remain disputed or unverified. Controversy surrounding Charlie Kirk's passing has reached another level, with online critics saying the official version of events is difficult for some people to accept. Supporters of alternative theories have pointed to newly discussed court filings that allegedly raise questions about weapon evidence tied to Tyler Robinson. According to those claims, the projectile connected to Charlie's passing reportedly does not fully match the rifle prosecutors linked to Robinson, a disputed detail that has triggered debate across social media and independent commentary platforms. Legal observers say that if forensic evidence surrounding the weapon and projectile were ever proven inconsistent in court, it could create challenges for the prosecution's overall timeline and theory of the case. However, those claims are still expected to face close examination during the trial process, and no final conclusion should be treated as confirmed based on online discussion alone. The situation became even more controversial after reports surfaced alleging that a camera located in a tent behind Charlie's seating area was removed shortly after the event. Critics have also questioned why parts of the scene were reportedly dismantled quickly before additional independent review could allegedly take place. Those details have added more pressure and speculation ahead of the televised hearings, though the claims remain disputed.
It makes absolutely no sense for anybody to be at UVU destroying that crime scene. I was a cop for many, many years, and crime scene preservation was always the most important thing when something bad like this happens. Never in my life have I ever seen a crime scene torn down and rebuilt so fast. It does not make sense.
Now, with the trial expected to air live, many people believe those disputed details could finally be examined in front of the public instead of staying limited to reports and online arguments. Analysts say the courtroom may become the first place where forensic experts, investigators, and witnesses directly address the growing list of inconsistencies that critics have been pointing out for months. Every piece of evidence is expected to face close scrutiny once cameras begin broadcasting the proceedings. At the center of the debate are questions surrounding the weapon evidence, the custody timeline, the handling of the scene, and the alleged removal of surveillance equipment shortly after the event. Supporters of the investigation argue there may be explanations for each issue, while skeptics believe the unanswered questions continue piling up. Either way, the televised hearings are now being treated as one of the most closely watched and controversial courtroom battles in recent memory. Independent investigators, journalists, and online researchers have continued digging deeper into Charlie Kirk's passing and the growing allegations surrounding people connected to his inner circle, including longtime associates, political allies, and Erika herself. Critics keep asking the same question: if Erika truly has nothing to hide, as she has publicly stated multiple times, then why are reports now claiming she may not appear at Tyler Robinson's televised trial? That claim has added another layer of speculation to an already tense public conversation, but it remains unverified. At the same time, many viewers are questioning whether the new Turning Point leadership has been as transparent as promised. Supporters insist the organization has cooperated with investigators in the legal process, while skeptics argue there may still be unanswered questions tied to the events of the past several months. Right now, these claims remain heavily debated and largely speculative, but they continue shaping public opinion surrounding the future of TPUSA and everyone connected to the case. Now we want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, arguments, and opinions in the comments below. Do you think the televised trial will answer these questions, or could it create even more debate? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with others following the case, and we'll catch you in the next one as more details.
I'm saying the guy got months ago, and she walks out to a pyrotechnic display.
I mean, it made me want to do things for the greater good.
How do you carry on this legacy?
I wanted to make sure that this dream meant something at the end of the day.
Because, we're carrying on Charlie's legacy, continuing the legacy and making sure that this machine that my husband built outlives all of us.
Is Erika Kirk's public image after Charlie's passing reminding some people of the way Diddy was discussed after Biggie passed away? Comedian Tim Dillon said, "What many viewers claim has been floating around online, and social media immediately started reacting." According to online commentaries, some people do not think Erika appears publicly heartbroken. Instead, they believe she looks energized and very present in the spotlight. Since Charlie's reported passing, Erika has been seen at public events with flashing stage effects, polished outfits, major entrances, and merch moments that some viewers felt looked more like a big rollout than private grieving. Of course, everyone processes loss differently, and the claims about her public image remain opinion-based. Still, people online keep debating whether the optics look like mourning or more like a promotional campaign. Now, critics are comparing the public reaction to Sean Diddy Combs after Biggie's passing, when some viewers felt he stayed highly visible through performances, public tributes, and business activity connected to Biggie's image and legacy. Those comparisons are disputed, but the online conversation keeps getting louder, and people have not forgotten the long-running public discussions around Sean Diddy Combs and Biggie's family, including disputed claims that Biggie's relatives were not always given the control or recognition some fans believed they deserved. Now critics online are pointing at Erika and saying the situation feels similar to them. Some viewers believe Charlie's parents appear to have been kept away from the center of the public narrative, while Erika continues to be connected to major attention around Charlie's name and legacy. Some people even noticed a small detail that keeps getting brought up online. Both Erika and Diddy are November Scorpios. That may mean absolutely nothing, and it is clearly internet chatter more than evidence. But social media has still been running with the comparison. Then the conversation takes a darker turn in online discussions. Some viewers keep referencing how 50 Cent's documentary appeared to revisit rumors and criticism involving Diddy and Biggie's passing, though those claims remain disputed and unverified. Because of that, critics now question why Erika seems so active and polished in public after losing her husband. Online speculation continues growing, with people asking why she appears to be thriving during such a devastating situation.
I've never seen a human being bounce back like this.
We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
Let's talk about how comedian Tim Dillon called out Erika Kirk's public image and described her flashy Hollywood-style entrances as elitist, overly staged, and disconnected from everyday people. Tim's comments were framed as opinion and commentary, but clips from the episode still started spreading quickly online.
To go out through a stream of fireworks and sparklers and stand there in a glittering pantsuit and months after your husband was killed, many people feel that there is something off about that. And we're starting to see that political people are the exact same thing as the Hollywood elites that they all love to dunk on. And we all look at this. This is Megan Thee Stallion twerking at the Kamala rally. This is deeply unsettling to a lot of people. It feels like you're being played. You feel it. It seems off.
Then things got even messier. When Tim suggested Erika's media appearances after Charlie's passing looked, in his view, more like a carefully planned business move than private grief. According to his commentary, the public campaign appears designed to keep attention high and donations flowing to TPUSA now that Charlie's gone. Supporters dispute that reading and say she is simply continuing the work connected to the organization.
You feel like this is a coordinated and choreographed spectacle so that you are played. They want your money. That's what they got mad at Candace about. They're like, why are you telling people not to give us money? She's also saying you killed the guy. Why are you mad about the money? They're just mad that they're not getting money. They want your money.
But Tim was not finished yet. On another episode of his show, he criticized Erika again over that replica tent stunt at AmFest, and he voiced what some viewers say they had been thinking privately for months. Critics online keep saying something about Erika's public behavior feels strange, overly polished, and hard for them to connect with emotionally. Now more people are openly questioning the situation, saying the pieces do not seem to add up the way they expected.
And Erika Kirk, God bless, tragic, and I'm sorry for what happened, but nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out. She's out there talking to Nicki Minaj. People are confused. What's going on? Those are the three words that sum up this whole entire mess that we've created.
Tim Dillon even joked that every time Erika walks onto a stage now, it feels less like a memorial and more like a full celebrity rollout. He pointed to the dramatic lighting, polished speeches, and big crowd reactions, saying the whole thing comes across to him like a brand expansion instead of someone dealing with a personal loss. Online reactions grew quickly after those comments because some viewers admitted they had been thinking something similar but were hesitant to say it publicly. Critics believe Erika's image has shifted since Charlie's passing, from political spouse to major media figure almost overnight, though supporters strongly reject that interpretation. Others push back and argue that public appearances do not automatically mean someone is grieving less. Still, the debate keeps getting louder because every new event, interview, and viral clip adds more attention to the controversy. At this point, people online are watching every move and analyzing every detail like a social media investigation board. Now this is where the conversation starts getting really messy. After Tim Dillon criticized Erika and compared her public image to a polished Hollywood-style celebrity, people online began making connections to another controversial public figure, Sean Diddy Combs. Social media users started pointing out what they believe are uncomfortable similarities between the two public narratives. What really has critics talking is Erika's image since Charlie's passing. People keep noticing the glam appearances, back-to-back in major media attention, and the way she continues speaking about Charlie's legacy while staying constantly visible. Some online commentators claim she appears more relieved and empowered than devastated, but that is only their interpretation, not a confirmed fact.
Gave assurance to people that Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is. I mean, we are so blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. I mean, it's beautiful, and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead. I was there from the beginning of all of it.
Because of that, many people say the optics remind them of how Diddy was viewed after Biggie's passing, especially when he appeared publicly at major events shortly afterward. Critics online argue the energy feels strangely similar, while supporters say the comparison is unfair and based on surface-level internet reactions. Back then, some people were already side-eyeing Diddy because they felt his public appearances came too quickly after Biggie's passing. Critics questioned the flashy performances, the emotional speeches mixed with business moves, and the way Biggie's image became part of a major media machine almost immediately. Those conversations remain debated and continue to follow Diddy in public discussion. Now, some online users are pulling Erika into that same type of conversation. They point to the highly produced events, emotional interviews, and constant public visibility as reasons why the comparisons continue. To critics, it feels less private and personal, and more like a carefully managed public narrative. At the same time, supporters argue that public figures often have to stay visible during difficult moments, especially when they are tied to large organizations and public audiences. But regardless of where people stand, the internet has turned this into a nonstop debate. People online are now saying the only thing missing from the comparison is the pyrotechnics, because to them, the situation feels similar to how Diddy was publicly viewed after Biggie's passing. Social media has been filled with reactions, jokes, and sharp commentary, especially over on X, where users have been going in on the Erika Kirk comparisons. One person wrote, "Erika Kirk really went to the Diddy school of mourning, huh?" Another user posted, "Diddy behaved like Erika Kirk. After Biggie passed away, public appearances everywhere and acting like nothing changed." Others pointed to Erika's events and media presence, saying the optics remind them of celebrities who stay highly visible during controversy instead of stepping away from the spotlight. Then the comparisons got even more intense when some users started bringing Candace Owens into the conversation. One viral post said, "Candace Owens is to Erika Kirk what 50 Cent is to Diddy," suggesting Candace could become one of Erika's loudest public critics moving forward. That remains social media commentary, not a confirmed pattern. That comparison started spreading fast because people already know how persistent 50 Cent has been for years when it comes to calling out Diddy online and in interviews. So now, some social media users are wondering whether Candace Owens could end up playing a similar role by continuing to question Erika publicly and keeping the controversy alive in front of large audiences. The internet has basically turned this entire situation into a non-stop spectacle, with clips, reaction videos, and side-by-side comparisons getting shared every day. Some users are even analyzing Erika's speeches, facial expressions, and public appearances frame by frame, trying to decide whether her behavior feels genuine or overly calculated. At the same time, others argue the comparisons are unfair and driven more by internet gossip than actual evidence. But that has not slowed the conversation down. Every new interview or public appearance gives social media another reason to keep debating the whole situation. One sarcastic post online joked, "Leave Erika alone, Candace. She's just trying to enjoy her book tour, media appearances, and millions of dollars in peace like any grieving widow would." That comment spread fast because it tapped directly into one of the biggest criticisms people keep repeating online, the money factor. A lot of critics are now comparing Erika and Diddy by arguing that both appeared to become even more financially successful after losing people they publicly described as extremely close to them. Supporters say that is just the reality of public life and organizational work, but critics believe the timing raises uncomfortable questions. In Erika's case, Candace Owens claimed that TPUSA, with Erika now serving as CEO, brought in more than $140 million within a few months after Charlie's passing. That claim has circulated widely online, but viewers should note that disputed financial claims can be difficult to verify without official documentation.
Doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. Oh, and we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million.
Reports have also suggested Erika may earn a salary similar to Charlie's previous compensation. According to past media reporting, Charlie was said to have received a combined compensation close to $400,000 from TPUSA and related organizations. Critics online also keep pointing out that Erika's public profile has grown sharply since taking over the organization. Between speaking events, interviews, media coverage, and book promotions, they believe her influence and visibility have reached a completely different level after Charlie's passing. That is why some commentators continue drawing comparisons to Diddy, arguing that both situations involve a major expansion of personal branding and business power following a tragedy tied to someone close to them. Supporters push back hard against that comparison, saying it ignores the reality that organizations still have to operate, and leaders often step into larger roles during difficult moments. Still, the conversation refuses to slow down because every financial report, public appearance, or viral social media clip gets added into the debate almost instantly. Online critics keep questioning whether the constant spotlight and growing influence feel natural, while supporters argue people are unfairly turning grief into internet conspiracy content. Another topic making rounds online is the alleged life insurance policy connected to Charlie. According to circulating claims, Charlie allegedly had a very large policy taken out in 2023 through a company that some online discussions say was dissolved shortly before his passing. Social media users have been focused on that detail, especially after rumors spread that the yearly premiums were supposedly around $350,000. Now, even more speculation is growing because online reports claim Erika could have received somewhere between $20 million and $50 million connected to Charlie's passing. Those claims remain unverified, and no official confirmation has been provided in the script, Still, that has not stopped the internet from going into full detective mode, with people debating timelines, paperwork, and financial details across social media platforms. Critics also point to reports of personally signed fundraising letters asking supporters to continue donating money to TPUSA. Because of all that, some online commentators say the situation reminds them of how people reacted to Diddy after Biggie's passing, especially when discussions about money and public image became part of the conversation. For a lot of people online, the issue is not just the money itself. It is the timing and the public presentation of everything afterward. Critics keep saying the combination of fundraising campaigns, major public appearances, leadership promotions, and nonstop media coverage has created optics they believe look more corporate than personal. That is why the Diddy comparisons continue gaining traction across social media. People remember how heavily Biggie's legacy stayed tied to business moves, performances, merchandise, and public branding after his passing. Now critics claim Erika's situation carries some of that same energy, though supporters strongly disagree. Meanwhile, others argue the internet is taking speculation too far and turning personal tragedy into entertainment. They say there is a major difference between awkward public optics and actual wrongdoing. Still, every new rumor, viral post, or interview clip keeps adding to the debate, and online audiences cannot seem to stop talking about it. After Biggie's passing, a lot of people began noticing how closely Diddy's name stayed connected to everything tied to Biggie's legacy, financially, culturally, and publicly. Critics argued that while Biggie's music, merchandise, documentaries, and image continued generating major attention and revenue, Diddy often appeared to remain at the center of the story as both the grieving friend and powerful business figure. For years, debates also surrounded Biggie's publishing rights and who benefited most from the success connected to his catalog. Some critics claim Diddy maintained significant control over Biggie-related business interests for a long time, instead of transferring ownership back to the family earlier. Those claims remain part of ongoing public discussion and still spark heated arguments online today. Because of all that, many people believe Diddy turned the tragedy into part of a larger entertainment empire, blending emotional public appearances with long-term business influence, connected to Biggie's legacy and image. Supporters and industry observers may dispute how fair that framing is, but the criticism has remained part of the conversation for years. That history is exactly why some online critics keep dragging Erika into the comparison now. They argue that when someone becomes the public face of a tragedy, while also gaining more influence, money, and visibility afterward, people naturally start questioning the motives behind everything they see. Critics point to the interviews, fundraising efforts, leadership role at TPUSA, and constant media coverage as reasons why the conversation keeps growing louder. To them, the situation feels less like someone stepping away to grieve privately and more like someone fully stepping into a bigger public brand soon after a major loss. Supporters completely reject those claims and say the comparisons are unfair, exaggerated, and driven by internet outrage culture. They argue Erika is simply continuing the work Charlie was already involved in and keeping the organization moving forward during a difficult time. But online audiences remain split, and every new headline keeps reopening the debate all over again. From posthumous albums to anniversary tributes and documentaries tied to Biggie's story, critics have long argued that his legacy became part of a business machine that helped make Diddy even more influential and powerful. According to those critics, Biggie's image stayed everywhere, while debates continued over whether his family truly benefited the way many people expected. Whenever those questions came up publicly, Diddy was often seen framing the work as preserving and continuing Biggie's legacy.
Biggie was the just the, you know, words can't really describe it. You know, it is he's really the foundation of like almost everything I've done musically, and he's constantly a muse of what I strive to be. And he's a definition of greatness.
And that is exactly why so many people online keep bringing Erika into the conversation after Charlie's passing. Critics point to the nonstop interviews, public appearances, speeches, and discussions about Charlie's legacy as reasons they believe she has become the central public figure in the aftermath. Some online users also question why Charlie's parents are rarely mentioned publicly or seen involved in major appearances connected to his memory. Nobody is accusing Erika of being responsible for what happened to Charlie, and the claims remain focused on optics, public behavior, and strategy. Still, critics continue debating whether the way she has handled the public aftermath feels authentic or overly managed. That distinction is important because most of the conversation online is centered around optics, public behavior, and financial influence after the tragedy, not direct accusations about what happened to Charlie. Still, social media has turned those questions into a non-stop storm of speculation, with people analyzing every speech, event, and business move connected to Erika. Critics argue that the combination of fundraising campaigns, major media exposure, leadership promotions, and emotional storytelling has created an image they believe feels highly curated and carefully managed. To them, it looks more like a powerful public rebrand than someone quietly grieving in private. Meanwhile, supporters say people are being unfair and cynical toward a widow who suddenly found herself leading a large organization under intense public attention. They argue there is no correct way to grieve publicly, especially when cameras and social media are watching every move. Even so, the comparisons and debates continue getting louder by the day. One user posted, "I hope my wife would not react to my passing the way Erika Kirk reacted after Charlie's passing. The only person people compare it to is how Diddy handled things after Biggie was found dead." Another viral comment said, "Someone said Diddy was the original Erika Kirk," and that line spread everywhere online because people could not stop debating the comparison. Critics on social media keep arguing that the similarities in public image, media attention, and business activity after tragedy are noticeable to them. Others think the internet is reaching too hard and turning emotional public behavior into conspiracy-style entertainment without solid evidence behind it. But what do you think about all these comparisons between Diddy and Erika Kirk? Do you think it is just strange timing, similar public optics, or something people online cannot stop connecting in their minds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody who has been following the story, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane.
Rogan and Cabot Phillips is Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend, and he now is doing TPUSA How to Lead Like Charlie conferences, like at universities. Interesting. And no, they weren't just friends, they were a couple.
I do think there was something about the Charlie Kirk assassination that everyone just sort of looked up.
They're the people that Charlie Kirk made. The level of disloyalty or fear, I don't know what it is.
Day after day, as people keep talking about the mystery surrounding Charlie Kirk's tragic passing, more claims and theories continue to surface. Right now, online chatter suggests Joe Rogan may have some inside information connected to how Erika Kirk was reportedly positioned to step into Turning Point USA from the start. According to the screenshots being shared online, Cabot Phillips and Erika Kirk were allegedly at a restricted military site in Fort Huachuca the night before Charlie Kirk was said to have passed away.
And eventually they tell him, "Oh yeah, we're actually using this random offsite building. We're back together. It's now JTF Southern Border." And that's how he walked in. And at that moment, he was talking to people at the front desk. He saw Brian Harpole walking out of this meeting with somebody. And I'll tell you when we started talking about Mark Amadei, but he initially did not contact me about Mark Amadei or Cabot Phillips. I recognized Erika Kirk on September 8th, leaving the Candlewood Inn Suites on the base. And I recognized Brian Harpole on the 9th, the morning of the 9th. The meeting was concluding at 7:30 a.m.
Sources close to the situation have alleged that this meeting was where the final decision was made to remove Charlie from the picture, though that claim remains unverified. According to Candace Owens, a whistleblower named Mitch, described as a veteran and a key witness, said he saw Erika Kirk, Cabot Phillips, Brian Harpole, and Congressman Mark Amadei at a military base in Fort Huachuca on September 9th, 2025.
I blew it off until there was, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
For anyone unfamiliar, Brian Harpool is identified as Charlie Kirk's chief of security, the person reportedly responsible for helping ensure Turning Point events and public appearances are properly protected. According to documents and online claims being circulated, Harpool would typically reach out to state security about 2 weeks before an appearance to request air and ground support, regardless of how large or small the crowd might be. But in this case, some viewers pointed out that security at Utah Valley University was described as limited when Charlie Kirk was reportedly removed from the situation. And Candace Owens has also claimed that Harpool did not set up the usual 2-week-ahead security planning for an event Charlie was scheduled to attend the next day at Charis Bible College in Woodland Park, Colorado. That detail has only deepened the online debate, because some viewers now say the timeline does not add up in a clean way. So far, none of these claims have been officially confirmed, and the allegation remains a matter of public speculation, not established fact. Meanwhile, the discussion around Joe Rogan has taken on a life of its own, with commenters suggesting he may know more than he has said publicly. Still, there is no verified evidence tying him directly to any of the disputed claims being shared online. What people do seem focused on is the idea that several names, including Erika Kirk, Cabot Phillips, Brian Harpool, and Mark Amode, keep coming up in the same circles of conversation. At the same time, critics of the theory have pointed out that online posts and second-hand accounts can spread fast, especially when emotions are already running high. So while the internet continues to piece together this story from alleged sightings, disputed timelines, and unverified receipts, the bigger picture is still unclear, and the claims surrounding that night remain heavily contested.
We also know that Charlie was supposed to be in Colorado the next day, right, on September 11th, immediately following UVU. His next event, which was for some reason barely publicized, was to take place at Charis Bible College, September 11th. We broke the story, actually. We also broke the story that a security plan was not put in place for that event, which is remarkable. Harpool did not coordinate with Charis Bible College nor the Woodland Police Department because he was not advised that Charlie would be visiting the school. It was not uncommon for Charlie to visit universities with only Dan Flood. Really? I think they just keep forgetting that, I went on tour with Charlie for 3 years. That's uncommon.
So some online commenters are now asking whether the small group that reportedly met in Fort Huachuca on the night of September 9 may have had prior knowledge of Charlie's tragic passing, and whether they were told not to step in. People have pointed to the reported lack of drones, rooftop monitoring, emergency medical support, and the unusually small number of security personnel. Once viewers connect those claims to what is being discussed about Erika and Cabot Phillips' past, along with Cabot now appearing at events in Charlie Kirk's place, the theory starts to look more convincing to some online. That is why some people are now suggesting Erika and Cabot were positioned to carry the message forward right away. It has also been claimed online that despite Erika Kirk saying she had not been in a relationship for 5 years before meeting Charlie, some viewers believe she may have been involved in dating during that period, and Cabot Phillips was allegedly one of the men linked in those discussions.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Erika has always said that meeting Charlie was just a coincidence, but some sources suggest she had been moving around his circle for some time. Photo evidence appears to show Erika at a political rally in Arizona that was reportedly hosted by Tyler Bollier. That is where the conversation gets even more complicated, because supporters of the theory say the timing feels too neat to ignore, while critics argue that online chatter is filling in gaps with assumptions. The claim about Fort Huachuca, the disputed planning, and the names being linked together has never been independently verified, so the whole discussion is still hanging on speculation rather than confirmed evidence. Even so, the internet has kept circling back to Erika's public comments and the photos people say they have found, including the image of her at a political rally in Arizona reportedly hosted by Tyler Boyer. Some commenters treat that as a sign she was already moving in the same political spaces before meeting Charlie, while others say it proves nothing on its own. For now, the only thing that is clear is that online discussions continue to blend timelines, appearances, and old connections into one very messy narrative, and none of the disputed claims have been officially settled.
We've been together for 2 years, and we met through a family friend.
Should we go through the whole story?
Why don't you tell the story?
Do you want to give the Spark Notes version, or do you want to give...
We'll do the long-form podcast version.
Long-form podcast version. Okay. So you started Turning Point in 2012, right? So Trump's first rally in Arizona was when? And it was
the summer of 15.
Summer of 15.
Erika has said that this was the event where she met Tyler Boyer, but deeper online breakdowns suggest the two may have already known each other before that day. Some commenters even point to Romania, though that connection remains unverified and heavily debated online. What stands out to critics is that Erika has said she cannot clearly remember how she first met Tyler, even though he is the person who later introduced her to her husband. That detail has only kept the speculation going.
Then he met Erika, and that was an easy sell.
That sealed the deal.
That sealed the deal, and that was an easy sell.
I wanted to hire her. I only had one problem. Charlie Kirk wanted to date her. Long story short, I was very worried he was going to scare her off and screw it up. And I was going to lose this incredible prospect.
How does Erika Kirk know Tyler Boyer? She couldn't recall that in person. We can't get an answer. That seems to be something that she doesn't want to answer, right? But Tyler's a very significant person because he introduced her to Charlie. He set that up.
Before that interview turned proposal moment, some online observers suggest Erika may have been trying to meet Charlie in a more natural way. But that effort did not seem to go anywhere. Think back to the interview where she said she noticed a man who looked strangely familiar while standing in the long ticket line, and her mother, Lori Fransvey, encouraged her to walk over and say hello. According to that story, the man ended up being Charlie. After that, the story gets even more interesting, because Erika later described the moment as almost effortless, like everything just happened at the right time. She said the exchange felt natural, and that the connection with Charlie started from that brief encounter in line, not from any big plan or setup. Still, online commentators have continued to question the timeline, with some suggesting there may have been more background to the meeting than has been publicly discussed. At the same time, supporters of Erika say people are reading too much into old photos and fragmented details, while critics argue that the loose ends keep adding up in a way that invites more questions. For now, the whole thing remains a mix of personal recollection, online theory, and a few disputed details that have never been clearly confirmed.
But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband. Well, that was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage. And I was standing in the ticket line. And I remember looking behind me, and in the snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence.
Sources have claimed that none of that was a coincidence. Erika was allegedly positioned to run into Charlie at that airport, but when that did not play out as planned, Tyler Boyer reportedly had to step in. If that version is true, then Tyler's involvement would have meant Cabot Phillips had to move out of the picture, even though he and Erika once looked like a very polished couple in now-deleted Instagram posts, including one where Cabot wrote, "Yes, we are that couple that gets painting lessons together." Cabot Phillips has also reportedly tried to show that he was not at Fort Huachuca on the night of September 9th. His alibi consists of photos showing him at a store buying items for his wife's reveal, but some critics say that still may not settle the issue, since iPhone photo dates can be edited. And to make the situation look even more questionable, viewers pointed out that the dates on the magazines displayed behind him in those photos do not seem to line up.
Cabot Phillips finally responds to Candace Owens, and we've got Candace's response back. While his alibis look better than the ones we've seen before, there are still questions, and especially why didn't he text Candace back? First, he said, I was not in Fort Huachuca on 9/8 or 9/9. I've never been. I was home in Nashville both days. On the afternoon on the 8th, I attended an ultrasound with my wife and stopped to get balloons for a gender reveal with our son that evening. It's a boy, if anyone was wondering. The following morning, I was at work as usual. Here are photos and surveillance footage below to prove my whereabouts. Go touch some grass, folks. You are being lied to. So he shows surveillance of himself going into work on September 9th at 9:17 a.m. And then here's one of the photos he provided. And on top it says September 8th, 5:57 p.m. And another photo that he provided checking out with stuff for the gender reveal. September 8th, 5:22 p.m. and his location. But some people pointed out the magazines behind him.
What has made Cabot Phillips' involvement in the alleged Fort Huachuca psyop even more controversial, at least in online discussion, is that some commenters have also linked him to circles around Jeffrey Epstein. He has appeared on Ellen DeGeneres' show. An online chatter has recently pointed to claims that she was named in the Epstein files as a major consumer, according to those discussions. The allegation remains disputed, and no official confirmation has been provided, but that connection has still kept people talking. From there, the online speculation only got louder, with some viewers saying the whole timeline raises more questions than answers. Others push back, arguing that internet detectives are taking small details and building a bigger story around them without solid proof. Either way, the discussion around Erika, Charlie, and Cabot kept spreading, especially once people started comparing old posts, photos, and public appearances. Some commentators also pointed out that the more people tried to pin down exact dates and places, the messier the story seemed to get. Supporters of the people involved said none of the unverified claims should be treated as fact, while critics kept insisting that the unusual sequence of events deserved scrutiny. For now, the situation stays stuck in that gray area where online theories, disputed timelines, and public curiosity all collide.
The Epstein files reveal Ellen DeGeneres as, and I'm quoting this directly from the posts, Hollywood's most prolific cannibal, that she consumed.
Her repeated talk about pizza, along with ordering pizza at the Oscars, has led some online viewers to read a deeper meaning into it than they expected.
I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza, and so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer, yes? Harrison?
So when Cabot Phillips posted a photo showing the word pizza tattooed on the inside of his lower lip with the caption, "Good to give yourself a little reminder sometimes," some people found the timing unsettling, especially with all the controversy around that word. It leaves viewers wondering whether he fully understood exactly how that post would land, since the image is still on his page as of now, or whether it really was just the innocent Photoshop edit he says it was. But that is still only one part of the wider discussion. Cabot Phillips has also been linked, according to online allegations, to political connections and family ties through his father, Tim Phillips, and to Cornerstone Chapel, a church some critics describe as controversial. And if you have been following this story, you know this would not be the first time TPUSA has faced awkward attention around pastors and church circles that drew notice. Take Pastor Victor Marks, for example, who is reportedly close to Erika and was among the first people to mention Charlie Kirk's tragic passing before it was officially confirmed.
Victor Marks is very much a part of the Turning Point faith orbit. He is apparently extraordinarily close to Erika Kirk, right? So much so that he was the first that we could find to publicly announce that Charlie Kirk had passed away on September 10th.
Victor Marks also appeared to use Charlie Kirk's memorial to quietly signal his move into politics when he announced his run for governor there. On top of that, he made another comment that drew attention during his sit-down with Candace Owens, and some viewers found the statement controversial.
And then I contacted Erika through a text and told her, nobody's gonna kill you. You're safe, you and the kids. No one's coming after you. They just wanted Charlie.
Then there is Pastor Terry Christ, who is reportedly close friends with Brian Houston, a New Zealand pastor who was later discussed online in connection with claims about helping conceal his father's alleged misconduct involving inappropriate material. That interview only added more questions for viewers who were already side-eyeing the situation, because some felt the timing of that political announcement was hard to ignore. Others pointed out that a memorial setting is usually expected to stay focused on remembrance, so his move into politics struck them as unusual. As for Pastor Terry Christ, the online conversation has also tied his name to Brian Houston, with some discussions alleging he was connected to broader church controversy. though those claims remain disputed online and no official confirmation has been provided. And with all these different names surfacing around the same circle, people online are continuing to connect dots, whether fairly or not.
Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much like he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related. So nothing to see there.
In addition, when Erika launched her Make Heaven Crowded tour, she partnered with Pastor Greg Laurie from Harvest Christian Fellowship. As of early 2026, Harvest Christian Fellowship and its lead pastor, Greg Laurie, are facing 22 consolidated federal lawsuits tied to allegations involving misconduct in Romania, though the claims remain disputed and no official findings have been established. Some online commentators took all of this as a sign of a larger pattern, suggesting Charlie's passing may have been planned, but that remains speculation, not confirmed fact. They point to the people who seemed to gain higher visibility after he was gone, along with those who appeared to use his name for book promotion, while also allegedly removing some older content and using his image for personal gain. Some viewers have raised those same concerns about Erika Kirk, and others have also mentioned Cabot Phillips in the discussion. Meanwhile, reports suggest the answer may still be only a couple clicks away, and that the full picture could come out soon enough. Joe Rogan is one of the names some people believe could help move that conversation forward. In addition, when Erika launched her Make Heaven Crowded tour, she partnered with Pastor Greg Laurie from Harvest Christian Fellowship. As of early 2026, Harvest Christian Fellowship and its lead pastor, Greg Laurie, are facing 22 consolidated federal lawsuits tied to allegations involving misconduct in Romania, though the claims remain disputed and no official findings have been established. Some online commentators took all of this as a sign of a bigger pattern, suggesting Charlie's passing may have been planned, but that remains speculation, not confirmed fact. They point to the people who seemed to gain more visibility after he was gone, along with those who appeared to use his name for book promotion, while also allegedly removing some older content and using his image for personal gain. Some viewers have raised those same concerns about Erika Kirk, and others have also mentioned Cabot Phillips in the discussion. Meanwhile, reports suggest the answer may still be only a couple clicks away, and that the full picture could come out soon enough. Joe Rogan is one of the names some people believe could help move that conversation forward. Right now, what matters most is your take on all of this. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video as well. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.
All right, you guys, straight to jail. For questioning at least Erika. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this.
Erika, you have to sue Candace. You must sue Candace, or everybody's going to assume that she's telling the truth. Even your PR extraordinaire, Andrew, knows that. And it can't be some lawsuit like, oh, breach of some ridiculous contract.
She's that little mean girl in high school with her friends, and they're picking on Erika Kirk, right? Because Erika Kirk's the pretty girl, right? She's the pretty girl, and so they have to bully her because they're jealous.
So this Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk controversy has taken a turn that many people online did not expect. According to online discussions, rumors have been circulating about an alleged leaked medical document that some people claim connects Candace to Charlie in a very personal way. The claims remain unverified, and no official confirmation has been provided, but the discussion has caused people to look at her recent comments about Erika in a very different light. A lot of viewers had already been questioning why Candace appeared to have so much public criticism for Erika, especially since Erika is the widow of someone Candace once described as a close friend. Over the past few months, according to critics, Candace has repeatedly taken aim at Erika in ways many people felt were unusually personal. Now, social media users are revisiting those moments and asking whether there may have been more tension behind the scenes than the public originally understood. At one point, people online began speculating that Candace seemed unusually emotionally invested in Charlie's situation, almost as if she had lost someone extremely close to her. Some viewers even wondered whether she may have had deeper feelings for him because of how intense her public reactions appeared to be. Back then, most people dismissed it as gossip and internet speculation. Now, With this alleged medical document being discussed online, some viewers say the older rumors are being viewed through a new lens. Now the internet is full of questions. Some people are asking whether Candace may have had a private connection to Charlie and Erika's marriage, while others are wondering whether Charlie may have had complicated feelings behind the scenes. None of those claims have been verified, and supporters strongly deny that online speculation should be treated as fact. Still, the conversation has grown quickly.
Candace Owens is jealous of Erika Kirk. Erika has come out today and asked her to stop. And of course, despite Candace swearing that she would stop if Erika herself asked, she has not. Instead, she's doubled down and now, yes, is directly mocking Erika.
Before all this talk about the alleged medical document even started, Candace was already facing criticism online after sharing screenshots of alleged messages with Charlie. In those messages, according to online discussions, Charlie appeared to share very personal thoughts with her, and social media users have continued debating what those messages actually meant. In the alleged messages, which have been shared and discussed across social media, Charlie supposedly told Candace that he was not sure he would live long enough to see the end of the revolution, meaning the Christian conservative movement he believed he was helping lead. The conversation appeared to become more serious a few messages later when he reportedly wrote, "Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I could get wiped out at any time." Charlie also allegedly said he had dreams about this often, though he later suggested he was not afraid of that possibility. That detail raised questions online, because people who have followed Candace's commentary over the past few months noted that she has repeatedly discussed the idea that Charlie may have had concerns for his safety before he passed away. Once these alleged messages surfaced, viewers began connecting earlier comments with the newer claims. But the message that drew the strongest reaction was the one directed at Candace personally. In the alleged text, Charlie supposedly wrote, "I believe you are the peace God meant me to meet that will finish the fight." That line sparked major discussion online because some viewers felt it sounded deeply personal and emotional, while others argued that people were reading too much into private conversations. Either way, the meaning of the message remains disputed, and the internet has continued analyzing it closely. Many people online focused on the wording of that message because they believed it sounded more intense than a standard friendship or work relationship. Social media users pointed out that the message appeared to connect Candace to Charlie's purpose, faith, and long-term mission. That is one reason the speculation spread so quickly. Some critics claimed the messages made it seem as if Candace held a special place in Charlie's life beyond politics or activism. Others pushed back and argued that private words can easily be misread when shared without full context. Still, the debate kept growing because every new screenshot and allegation seemed to add another layer to the story. At the same time, viewers began revisiting Candace's public comments and interviews from the past few months. Some people noticed that she often spoke about Charlie with a level of emotion and intensity that stood out to them. Now the internet is reviewing old clips, statements, and interactions, trying to decide whether hidden feelings were involved or whether the whole thing has been exaggerated by online speculation. By sharing that alleged text, some critics believed Candace appeared to be placing herself in the role of Charlie's chosen successor. That caught attention because Charlie's widow, Erika Kirk, had already publicly stepped into a leadership role months earlier. So people online started asking why Candace seemed, in their view, so determined to present herself as someone deeply tied to Charlie's mission and legacy. That is where the speculation grew even louder. Some viewers wondered whether Candace and Charlie allegedly shared a connection that went beyond friendship or politics, because critics believed that possibility might explain why the emotions around the situation seemed so intense and personal. The claims remain disputed, and no verified evidence has confirmed the theories. As many people already know from public discussion, Erika stepped into the CEO role at TPUSA months ago and has been leading the organization since then. She also reportedly took over several of Charlie's other responsibilities, including his position on the U.S. Air Force Academy Advisory Board. When Erika's appointment became public, many supporters praised the move and said they were glad to see Charlie's work continue after his passing. But not everyone online was fully supportive of Erika stepping into such a powerful position so quickly. Some critics questioned whether she was prepared for the pressure and responsibility that came with taking over Charlie's major roles. Others defended her and argued that, as his wife and longtime partner, she was the natural person to help protect his legacy and vision. At the same time, Candace's public comments kept pulling attention back toward her. Every interview, social media post, and alleged leaked message added more discussion around her connection to Charlie. People started comparing the way Erika and Candace spoke about him, and online conversations quickly turned into a divided debate between supporters on both sides. What made the discussion feel more personal was that the controversy moved beyond politics, organizations, and leadership roles. The conversation shifted into questions about loyalty, emotional attachment, and whether there were private dynamics the public did not know about. With every new allegation shared online, the theories continued to grow, even though many remain unverified. As many people expected, not everyone was happy about Erika stepping into those leadership roles, and critics online quickly noticed that Candace Owens seemed especially unhappy with the announcement. Right after Erika's appointment became public, Candace went on Twitter and questioned whether Erika was qualified for such an important position. In her post, Candace wrote, "She's a grieving widow, so have no right to ask what qualifies her to a position advising our Defense Department. This is all perfectly normal, and only people who are demonic would question this appointment." Candace's supporters appeared to read the post as sarcasm, and the situation spread quickly online. Soon, Erika was facing criticism, insults, and demands from some people calling for her resignation. The backlash became intense, and social media turned the entire situation into a public fight. What made things even more complicated was that Candace continued criticizing Erika, according to viewers, even after Erika released an audio recording in which Charlie allegedly expressed confidence in her ability to lead if he were no longer around. According to Erika's account, Charlie believed she could handle the pressure and continue his work in his absence. That is why some people online do not view it as random that months later, Candace allegedly began presenting her own proof, suggesting Charlie and even God had chosen her to carry on his mission. To critics, the timing appeared suspicious, while supporters argued she was simply sharing her side of the story. The disagreement only added more tension to an already messy situation. Once people started comparing Erika's statements with Candace's alleged messages and public comments, the internet went into heavy debate. Supporters on both sides began arguing over who Charlie may have trusted most behind the scenes. Some argued Erika had the official title, the family connection, and Charlie's public support. Others claimed Candace's alleged private conversations with him suggested a deeper emotional and spiritual connection, though that interpretation remains disputed. Controversy grew because critics accused Candace of turning a personal tragedy into a public power struggle. They questioned why she kept releasing emotional details and alleged private exchanges instead of letting Charlie's family manage his legacy privately. Supporters defended her by saying she was simply telling her side and protecting what Charlie allegedly believed in. Meanwhile, social media users kept reviewing old interviews, podcast clips, tweets, and speeches for clues about the relationship between Charlie, Erika, and Candace. Small interactions were suddenly treated by some viewers as possible evidence in online theories. With the alleged medical document rumors circulating too, many people felt the story had shifted from ordinary political drama into something far more personal and complicated. As many people already know, Candace used to work with TPUSA before eventually building her own brand. Now, with Erika stepping into major leadership positions connected to Charlie's legacy, some online critics believe Erika may have ended up with the kind of influence and recognition Candace once wanted for herself. Because of that, social media has been filled with accusations that jealousy could be part of the feud, though supporters strongly reject that framing. According to critics, the situation went beyond a few angry tweets or occasional comments. People began paying closer attention when Candace launched an alleged investigative series called Bride of Charlie, a title many viewers felt was a pointed reference to a well-known horror character. That choice sparked backlash because critics said the tone of the series felt deeply personal and aggressive from the start. The controversy grew from there. Throughout the series, Candace reportedly examined many parts of Erika's background, including details about her family history, education, and past jobs. The episodes were lengthy, and some viewers felt the content crossed from commentary into something much more invasive. What shocked many viewers were the serious implications and disputed allegations discussed throughout the series. Critics accused Candace of suggesting extremely damaging connections involving alleged misconduct and controversial figures, though the claims remain publicly disputed and unverified. Online reactions grew quickly because people felt the accusations were severe and could seriously harm Erika's reputation.
I said, this is very obviously something Erika should answer for. You want to be the queen bee, you want to be a public figure, You want people floating your name as for president of the United States? Well, let's get to a little bit of background. Who are you? What were you doing?
According to viewers following the drama closely, this was not limited to one series. Over the past several months, Candace has reportedly released numerous episodes criticizing both Charlie and Erika, while also discussing theories that Erika may have manipulated Charlie or worked against him behind the scenes. Those claims remain disputed, and the entire feud has become one of the most divisive online controversies surrounding their circle. As the feud kept escalating, more people online started questioning why Candace appeared so emotionally invested in criticizing Erika so often. Critics argued that it no longer looked like normal political disagreement or personal disappointment. To them, it seemed deeply personal, as if unresolved anger or hurt might be sitting underneath the public attacks. At the same time, Candace's supporters pushed back against those accusations. They claimed she was sharing information she believed the public deserved to hear, and argued that critics were unfairly dismissing her concerns because the claims sounded controversial. That divide made the online debate even more chaotic, with both sides accusing the other of twisting facts and spreading narratives. Once the alleged pregnancy rumors and leaked medical document claims entered the conversation, the situation took on a different tone online. Suddenly, people began revisiting every interview, emotional statement, and accusation through a more personal lens. Social media users started asking whether Candace's focus on Erika may have been connected to something deeper than people originally realized, though nothing has been officially confirmed. Now the speculation has become intense, and every new rumor seems to restart the debate almost immediately. In another clip that circulated across social media, Candace reportedly called for Erika to be questioned by authorities in connection with Charlie's passing. That moment surprised many viewers because the accusations and demands appeared to be becoming more serious and public with each new video and post.
All right, you guys, straight to jail for questioning at least Erika. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. Really, you'll be wasting your breath. You can spend $1 billion on influencers because this is all becoming increasingly inexplicable. You are asking me to be an idiot, actually, and I cannot do that for you.
At one point during the tension, Erika allegedly tried to calm things down by requesting a private sit-down conversation with Candace so they could clear the air directly. But according to online commentary, the meeting did not improve the situation. In fact, some viewers felt Candace came out of that conversation sounding even more upset and critical toward Erika than before. That is why some critics began saying it no longer seemed to matter what Erika said or did, because they believed Candace appeared determined to portray her negatively. Early on, many people defended Candace because they thought she was trying to uncover the truth and seek answers surrounding Charlie's passing. But over time, the constant accusations, theories, and public criticism caused more people to become uncomfortable with how intense the situation had become. One viral tweet summed up how many critics were starting to feel. The post said, "This is beyond obsessive. I have never seen a woman more obsessed with a man than Candace Owens is with Charlie Kirk. 1 month, she is spinning wild Catholic cemetery conspiracies to attack Jewish donors. Then she denies ever asking anything. He had a wife. This is not an investigation." That tweet spread across social media and added more attention to the controversy. After that tweet went viral, the online conversation shifted. More people began openly questioning whether Candace's actions were really about seeking truth or whether the situation had become more personal and emotionally charged behind the scenes. Critics pointed to the constant stream of videos, accusations, and emotional commentary as reasons they felt the feud had crossed into uncomfortable territory. At the same time, Candace's loyal supporters continued defending her. They argued that powerful people were trying to silence her and claimed the backlash showed she was getting close to uncomfortable information. Every time criticism against her increased, her fan base appeared to become even more defensive and vocal online. Meanwhile, Erika largely appeared focused on continuing Charlie's work and handling the public pressure surrounding the ongoing rumors and allegations. But no matter what she did, the internet kept pulling her back into the center of the controversy. Every interview, public appearance, or statement quickly became another topic for supporters and critics to argue over. And now, with the alleged leaked medical document rumors spreading at the same time, people online are combining different parts of the drama into one larger theory. The internet is treating the situation like a major mystery, even though many of the claims remain unverified, disputed, and based on speculation. As more people started criticizing Candace online, Some commenters accused her behavior of appearing obsessive and said they felt she had taken the situation too far. When she noticed public opinion beginning to shift against her, Candace responded by releasing a video claiming that she and her family were being targeted and harassed by Erika's supporters because she was supposedly trying to uncover the truth about Charlie's situation. That video sparked another wave of reactions online.
They're still running this game of trying to get the press to go after me, to go after my family. So when I say it has been a nonstop onslaught against my life, this is what I mean. And I do think it's time for us to share the documents so people can actually read the documents of what my family has lived through.
The controversy did not stop there. Critics became even more upset after Candace allegedly started bringing Erika's family life into the conversation during one of her podcast episodes. Many viewers felt that discussing private family matters pushed the feud into a more personal direction. In that episode, Candace reportedly read an open letter directed at Erika while discussing an interview Erika had given about her final days with Charlie. During the original interview, Erika explained that she and Charlie slept in separate rooms one night because he wanted to get proper rest before a speaking engagement the next day. However, Candace allegedly interpreted the story very differently. According to her comments, she suggested the separate sleeping arrangement could have meant Charlie no longer trusted Erika, or that their relationship was struggling behind the scenes. That interpretation caused backlash because many people felt Candace was turning an ordinary personal detail into speculation about a marriage and family already under intense public scrutiny. That moment caused another wave of backlash online because many people felt Candace was reading too much into a normal situation. Critics pointed out that couples sleeping separately before a busy event or stressful day is not unusual, especially when someone needs rest for travel, speaking engagements, or work obligations. But according to viewers, Candace treated the story like it could be a hidden clue about deeper issues in Charlie and Erika's marriage. As clips from the podcast spread online, more people started accusing Candace of building dramatic narratives out of ordinary personal details to keep the controversy alive. Some commenters argued that every explanation Erika gave publicly seemed to be turned into another theory or accusation, no matter how reasonable it sounded. Meanwhile, supporters of Candace continued defending her by saying she was only questioning inconsistencies and asking questions others were afraid to ask publicly. That back-and-forth debate divided audiences online, with one side calling Candace fearless and the other side saying her commentary had gone too far. And with every new interview, alleged message, or rumor added into the mix, the internet keeps digging deeper into the personal lives of everyone involved, trying to figure out what may have been happening behind the scenes. According to critics, Candace still did not stop there. She reportedly went even further by analyzing Erika and Charlie's family life publicly, including comments about their parenting style and household routines. At one point, Candace allegedly described the young individuals in the family as sleep-trained toddlers, which confused and upset many viewers online. People also reacted strongly after she reportedly questioned why the young individuals were pulled out of school and discussed private family details that many felt should not be addressed publicly.
3-year-old daughter at 2:45 in the morning. That's not when toddlers at the age of 3 wake up, okay? These are sleep-trained toddlers. Gigi wakes up, 2:45, 3-year-old kid, who should be in the REM stage of sleep. Well, Gigi sleeps in her mother's bed. Just little swapsies there at 3 a.m. in the morning, totally casual. Just curious that they're all awake. It's 2:45 a.m. in the morning. I don't know what's going on. Okay. But the implication is that's what woke up her 3-year-old daughter at 2:45 in the morning. Like, yeah, you. Yeah, I'm so excited. Who knows?
What made the situation feel even stranger to some people is that Candace herself is known for keeping her own young family members mostly out of the spotlight. She rarely discusses them publicly, which led critics to ask why she appeared so focused on dissecting Erika's parenting and family decisions in such detail. Many viewers also pointed out that Erika and Charlie had seemed intentional about protecting their young family members' privacy despite living very public lives. So after months of criticism aimed at Erika's parenting, some people felt Candace had crossed a serious line by bringing family matters into the middle of the feud. To critics, it no longer looked like political commentary or investigation, it looked deeply personal. Now people online are revisiting everything Candace has said about Erika over the past several months, and many are starting to view the situation through a different lens. The repeated criticism, the intense focus on Charlie's marriage, the frustration some viewers noticed whenever Erika stepped into one of Charlie's former roles, and the way Candace often spoke as if she understood Charlie better than his own wife. All of it is being re-examined closely. That is exactly why these alleged leaked medical document rumors have sent social media into such a strong reaction right now. If there truly was some kind of hidden relationship between Candace and Charlie, some viewers believe it could change how the public interprets everything that has happened since his passing. But the claims remain unverified, supporters deny the accusations, and no official confirmation has been provided. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more updates as the online discussion continues. See you in the next one.
Just stop. I want Turning Point USA to, for once in their lives, do the right thing and pay me a monthly retainer to consult them on PR. To just say no. Nope. I say to myself, the numbers of the prisoners, they cannot be random. They are random, but they can't be random. They have to hold some sort of a meaning.
It's a split personality disorder, obviously. You know, it might even be equal parts schizophrenia, but what this is not is an actual gender, obviously. She's not a tri-gender.
So now online discussions are moving fast, with rumors claiming that Erika Kirk may have been connected to alleged private medical information tied to Candace Owens. And some social media users are saying those unverified details supposedly point to past mental health treatment. The situation has drawn major attention online, with disputed claims spreading that Candace may have once been placed under a private psychiatric hold, and that her husband may have helped her manage personal struggles behind the scenes. And honestly, even without official confirmation, many people online are saying the reported fallout between Erika Kirk and Candace Owens has reached a very serious point. A lot of commenters are connecting these unverified allegations to Candace's recent public behavior, suggesting it may explain why some of her online commentary has seemed more intense and unpredictable to critics over the last few years. People keep bringing up moments where Candace pushed controversial and disputed theories about Brigitte Macron's identity, along with separate claims that Charlie Kirk was supposedly being monitored or targeted by intelligence-linked groups from multiple governments. On top of that, Candace has also publicly suggested that powerful enemies or government-connected forces were targeting her life, and critics online have used those statements to drive even more speculation, although those claims remain disputed and unconfirmed. It has gotten so messy online that people are no longer just debating whether Candace Owens is being provocative or emotional. They are now openly speculating about whether she could be dealing with some kind of undisclosed, personal or mental health struggle. According to rumors spreading across social media, the alleged leaked medical information is what pushed that conversation into overdrive, but no official confirmation has been provided.
Bro, what the f is going on with Candace Owens?
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I don't even know the context of that clip. I just know that getting on camera and saying that is crazy.
Before those alleged documents even started making rounds online, Candace had already been posting heavily on Twitter for days, and many viewers noticed the shift in tone. Instead of focusing on one dispute at a time, she appeared to be clashing with several conservative media figures at once, and one of the biggest names she turned her attention toward was her former Daily Wire boss, Ben Shapiro. Candace posted claims accusing Ben and people around him of allegedly coordinating criticism against her and even targeting her family behind the scenes.
They're still running this game of trying to get the press to go after me, to go after my family. So when I say it has been a nonstop onslaught against my life, this is what I mean. And I do think it's time for us to share the documents so people can actually read the documents of what my family has lived through.
The issue, according to critics, is that she did not publicly provide clear evidence to back those accusations up, which immediately split people online into different camps. Some supporters defended her strongly, while plenty of others said she seemed emotional, scattered, and increasingly suspicious in her posts and live streams. What made the whole thing even more uncomfortable, according to viewers, was the timing. While Candace was accusing other people of trying to damage her reputation, she was also spending episode after episode on her own podcast criticizing Erika Kirk, and audiences definitely picked up on the tension building fast. Candace was going all in on Erika Kirk publicly, calling her dishonest, mocking her online, and reopening old allegations she had already discussed before. She kept bringing the drama back up again and again, especially when the conversation turned to Charlie Kirk's passing, which some critics online believe has become one of her biggest areas of focus lately. During one recent podcast episode, Candace doubled down harder than ever and appeared to suggest that Erika still needed to be looked into over what happened to her husband.
So yeah, across the board, people are laughing, they're mocking it, they're saying it was, you're lying, and also it's just weird. It was weird and it was awkward. And speaking of the lying, which, like I said, many people called out right away, as that person said, I've never made that statement on this podcast.
That moment got people talking even more, especially because the tension between them had already been building for months in public commentary and online discussions. Then things got even more intense when rumors about an alleged leaked psychiatric report suddenly started spreading online not long after that episode. A lot of people immediately began speculating that Erika may have reached a breaking point after being publicly criticized so many times by Candace across podcasts and social media, although that remains online speculation and has not been confirmed. Looking back now, some viewers say the reason those alleged leak rumors spread so quickly is because many online users were already convinced Candace Owens had been dealing with some kind of unseen personal struggle for years. And after watching some of her recent public behavior, critics said that narrative became easier for people to believe, even though others argue the speculation is unfair and unverified. For a lot of viewers, though, the moment things truly entered unusual territory was when Candace launched her intense campaign focused on Brigitte Macron, the wife of French President Emmanuel Macron. Candace did not just mention Brigitte Macron once and move on. She turned the entire situation into an ongoing public crusade that had people completely divided online. She repeatedly pushed claims and speculation about Brigitte's identity, and the controversy quickly spread far beyond conservative media circles. What surprised many viewers was how aggressively Candace kept pushing the topic even after major backlash came in from journalists, political commentators, and people across social media. Critics said she appeared completely locked into the theory, while supporters defended her right to question powerful public figures. But the deeper she went into the controversy, the more people online started questioning Candace's overall judgment and mindset. Some former fans even admitted they were uncomfortable watching how personal and intense her commentary had become, especially compared to how she used to present herself just a few years ago. Then things escalated again when Candace began making claims that powerful groups, political enemies, and even government-connected figures were allegedly targeting her behind the scenes. That is when online conversations shifted from political disagreement into people openly speculating about whether something more personal was happening with her, and the rumors only kept spreading faster from there. Because Candace did not just casually question Brigitte Macron in public, she fully leaned into disputed claims that Brigitte was supposedly born male and had hidden her identity for years. She framed the situation as if it were a major cover-up that the media and political elites were trying to keep away from the public eye, though the claims have been widely challenged and remain disputed. What made a lot of viewers uneasy was how strongly she presented disputed and heavily criticized material as if it were solid evidence. At one point, Candace circulated an old photo that supporters claimed showed a young Brigitte as a young boy. Later on, journalists and investigators pushed back, saying the person in the picture was reportedly Brigitte's brother, not Brigitte herself. Even after those corrections started spreading online, Candace continued discussing the situation with strong confidence, and that is what threw many people off watching from the outside. Critics started saying the intensity behind her commentary felt unusually personal and relentless compared to normal political debates, while supporters argued she was simply asking difficult questions.
It's time for you to wake up. So we will start from the top here with a photo of Brigitte Macron. Real name, Jean-Michel Trogneau. That person that you are looking at on the right is not a woman. Okay? Here is a photo, by the way, just over the years, Jean-Michel Trogneau, as he became Brigitte, as I said.
Then when people added all of that together with the recent Twitter outbursts, the nonstop online feuds, and her ongoing focus on Erika Kirk, viewers suddenly began revisiting older Candace clips in a completely different light. What once looked like aggressive commentary to supporters was now being viewed by critics as part of a much bigger pattern. People started digging back through old interviews, podcast appearances, and live stream clips, trying to figure out when the shift in Candace's behavior first became noticeable. According to critics online, they believe the change did not happen overnight. They think it slowly became more intense over time, as the controversies around her kept growing louder. Some viewers pointed to moments where Candace appeared convinced that major media organizations, political opponents, and powerful public figures were secretly coordinating against her behind the scenes. Others brought up interviews where she spoke about feeling targeted, silenced, or attacked by people she believed wanted to damage her reputation and career. At the same time, her supporters argued that Candace was simply reacting to constant criticism and media pressure, saying outspoken political commentators often become lightning rods for controversy. But even among people who normally defended her, some admitted the constant feuds and escalating claims had started to feel exhausting and difficult to follow. Then, once the alleged psychiatric leak rumors entered the conversation, everything surrounding Candace became even more explosive online. Every old clip, every controversial statement, and every public argument started getting re-examined all over again through a completely different lens. And the more people revisited those older podcast clips and interviews, the more intense the online conversation around Candace's mental state started becoming. Critics online began analyzing everything from her tone to the way she reacted during arguments, and the speculation became darker as more clips resurfaced, although those conclusions remain personal opinions from viewers, not confirmed facts. Now, the interesting part is that Erika Kirk never directly came out and flat out said, "I have proof Candace Owens is mentally ill." She never publicly framed it that way, but she did accuse Candace multiple times of spreading what she described as false statements, encouraging harassment, and targeting her family with repeated commentary across podcasts and social media.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Viewers could see the tension building every time Erika responded publicly, and many people assumed Candace would eventually back off once Erika finally addressed the situation head-on. But according to critics, the opposite seemed to happen. Instead of moving on, Candace appeared to double down every time Erika pushed back publicly. Eventually, the drama escalated to a completely different level when Candace launched her so-called investigative podcast series, Bride of Charlie, which instantly sparked more backlash and controversy online. That podcast series quickly became one of the most controversial things Candace had done in a long time. She presented the project as a deep investigation into unanswered questions surrounding Charlie Kirk's passing and Erika Kirk's role in the wider story. But critics online felt the series crossed into deeply personal territory fast. Episode after episode, Candace kept revisiting old allegations, analyzing personal details, and raising suspicions that many viewers felt had already been addressed publicly before. Supporters praised her for refusing to let the story go, but others argued she seemed completely consumed by the situation in a way that felt increasingly intense. Backlash grew even bigger, because Erika and her supporters viewed the podcast as a targeted campaign against a grieving family rather than journalism or commentary. Social media quickly split into two sides, with one group defending Candace's right to investigate public claims, while another group accused her of using personal tragedy for attention and controversy. And once the alleged psychiatric leak rumors started circulating at the same time, the entire narrative surrounding Candace shifted again online. Suddenly, people were not just debating whether her claims were right or wrong, they were questioning whether her constant escalation and public behavior pointed to something much deeper happening behind the scenes. Candace spent hours publicly criticizing nearly every part of Erika Kirk's life. She questioned Erika's early life stories, criticized her business history, accused her of being dishonest about parts of her education and background, and even tried linking her into Jeffrey Epstein and allegations related to the exploitation of people. The whole thing became incredibly intense, and viewers said some of the commentary sounded deeply personal during certain episodes.
Like I said, this is very obviously something Erika should answer for. You want to be the queen bee? You want to be a public figure? You want people floating your name as for president of the United States? Well, let's get to a little bit of background. Who are you? What were you doing?
What really pushed people into uncomfortable territory, though, was when Candace repeatedly implied that Erika may have known more about Charlie's passing than she admitted publicly. Those comments sparked backlash online, especially because many viewers felt Candace was moving from commentary into personal accusation without presenting hard evidence to support such serious claims. As the podcast clips spread across social media, even some people who normally supported Candace started admitting she seemed far too emotionally invested in taking Erika down personally. Critics argued the fixation was becoming impossible to ignore, while supporters insisted Candace was simply refusing to stay silent about unanswered questions. Then a New York Post article added even more attention to the controversy by describing Candace's behavior as potentially libelous. The article reportedly called the investigative series a loosely stitched-together collection of sewerish falsehoods and innuendo-smearing Erika Kirk, and those harsh descriptions spread online fast because many people felt it captured the tone of the series. So by the time rumors about alleged psychiatric records began spreading online, the internet had already become emotionally divided over the entire situation. Eventually, after months of avoiding direct confrontation, Erika Kirk appeared to reach her breaking point and publicly called Candace Owens out by name herself. Once Erika finally stopped being indirect and publicly addressed Candace by name, the entire situation exploded to another level online. Erika accused Candace of spreading false narratives, encouraging harassment, and turning an intensely personal tragedy into online entertainment. Supporters of Erika immediately rallied behind her, saying she had every right to defend herself after being discussed so aggressively for such a long time across social media and podcast platforms. At the same time, Candace's supporters argued she was being unfairly criticized for asking difficult questions and challenging stories she believed did not fully add up. But even with those defenses, the backlash surrounding the feud kept getting louder because the emotional intensity on both sides had become impossible to ignore. Then the alleged psychiatric leak rumors entered the conversation at the worst possible moment. Instead of people focusing only on the feud itself, the internet suddenly became consumed with speculation about Candace personally, her recent behavior, and whether the constant escalation of these public battles pointed toward something more serious happening behind closed doors. Erika accused Candace of spending months pushing narratives that made it seem as though she was somehow responsible for her own husband's passing. And she made it clear that she viewed Candace's behavior as cruel, targeted, and intentionally malicious. People watching the situation unfold said they could hear the frustration and exhaustion in Erika's voice as she responded publicly after staying relatively restrained for so long.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
What also stood out to a lot of viewers was the fact that Erika still avoided using the harsh mental health labels that many people online had already been throwing at Candace for months. Even with all the anger and tension between them, some viewers believed Erika held back because Candace had once been personally close to Charlie Kirk, and she did not want to completely cross that line publicly. But that same restraint definitely did not apply to Laura Loomer. She jumped into the controversy almost immediately and went straight after Candace online with zero hesitation. Laura posted on Twitter, after accusing Erika Kirk and TPUSA of killing Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens is now claiming Erika is a billionaire and that she and TPUSA should hire Candace Owens. This is schizophrenic behavior. The second Laura made that post, the entire conversation exploded even more across conservative media circles. Suddenly, other commentators who had previously stayed quiet or neutral started openly agreeing with parts of the criticism instead of defending Candace outright. And honestly, that was the moment the situation stopped feeling like regular internet drama to a lot of people. The arguments became darker, more personal, and much more intense as speculation surrounding those alleged leaked records continued spreading across social media at full speed. As the rumors kept spreading, people online started treating the alleged leaked records like they were the missing piece that suddenly explained every controversial moment Candace had been involved in over the last few years. Old clips began resurfacing everywhere, and critics started tying together her public feuds, emotional live conspiracy-focused commentary, and repeated claims about being targeted by powerful enemies. Some users argued the internet was going way too far by speculating about someone's private health without verified evidence, while others insisted Candace's own public behavior had opened the door to those conversations. Either way, the situation spiraled fast, and every new post or reaction only added more attention to the controversy. What made things even messier was the fact that no verified proof of the alleged psychiatric records had been publicly confirmed, yet people were already debating them online as if everything had been settled. That created an even bigger divide between supporters who felt Candace was being unfairly attacked, and critics who believed the rumors lined up with her recent behavior. By this point, the feud had grown way beyond politics or podcast drama. It had turned into a massive online firestorm involving personal attacks, mental health speculation, public accusations, and nonstop commentary from major conservative personalities who were now openly taking sides in the conflict. And honestly, the biggest reason this whole situation keeps spiraling online is because people say they have noticed a pattern every time Candace Owens faces major backlash or public pressure. Critics online claim that whenever Candace gets heavily challenged or cornered publicly, she suddenly shifts into talking about secret warnings, hidden enemies, or powerful people supposedly trying to harm her behind the scenes. A lot of viewers pointed to what happened after the legal battle involving Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron intensified. Around that time, Candace began making claims that she had allegedly received information suggesting the Macrons had hired a special group or army to target her. The problem for many critics was that she never publicly released clear evidence to support those claims. People kept asking for documents, names, screenshots, or anything that could independently verify the alleged information. But nothing concrete was ever publicly presented. And because of that, many online users started connecting these statements to the larger conversation already happening around her recent behavior and mental state. To critics, it no longer looked like just one controversial accusation or one heated online rant anymore. They believed the repeated claims about secret plots, powerful enemies, and hidden attacks were starting to form a much bigger and more concerning pattern over time, though supporters strongly dispute that interpretation. People online began compiling clips, tweets, and podcast moments where Candace talked about being watched, targeted, silenced, or secretly attacked by powerful figures behind closed doors. Critics argued that the pattern had become impossible to ignore, especially because the claims seemed to grow more dramatic every time a new controversy surrounded her publicly. Some viewers even pointed out how quickly ordinary political disputes would suddenly escalate into claims involving intelligence agencies, coordinated smear campaigns, or secret networks working against her. To supporters, Candace was exposing corruption and refusing to stay quiet under pressure. But to critics, the constant escalation was becoming harder and harder to separate from the growing speculation about her personal well-being. At the same time, other people pushed back against the internet, diagnosing someone based on clips and rumors alone. They argued that public figures often become emotionally reactive under nonstop media pressure and online harassment, especially when lawsuits, backlash, and public criticism are happening all at once. But regardless of where people stood, one thing became obvious in the online conversation. The alleged leak rumors had completely transformed the discussion around Candace Owens, and now every statement she made was being analyzed through an entirely different lens online. People online started noticing what they believe is a repeated cycle with Candace Owens. First comes a huge explosive claim, then people publicly challenge it, and not long after that, another dramatic story appears involving hidden enemies, secret plots, or powerful people supposedly targeting her behind the scenes. Critics say that pattern has become harder and harder to ignore over time, especially after the nonstop feuds, the focus on Erika Kirk, the Brigitte Macron controversy, the accusations aimed at former allies, and now these alleged leaked psychiatric records all colliding publicly at once. And honestly, at this point, people are no longer just debating whether Candace is controversial anymore. The entire conversation online has shifted into much darker territory because now critics and commentators are openly questioning whether warning signs may have been overlooked for years while the situation quietly kept escalating behind closed doors. But that is the full breakdown on this heated situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because people online are seriously divided over all of this right now. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more updates on stories taking over the
Comedians dressing up in whiteface, and I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband.
That's what she thinks is going to work on me. Making up AI photos and releasing them of my husband, literal AI photos, and trying to pass them off as authentic so she can make a claim that he's gay. Accusing us of being separated like she did this weekend. Attacking my children, that was trending.
Why did you claim Candace said that Erika killed Charlie? She's never said it that I've seen.
Why would she bother saying that? It was just like an attack from every angle yesterday.
Erika Kirk has become the center of a heated online controversy after Candace Owens raised more questions about her. And now the discussion has become much more personal. According to online reactions, some viewers believe the situation escalated when Erika's critics claimed that Candace's husband and family were being pulled into the public drama. The claims remain disputed online, but the conversation has definitely grown messy. After Candace shared more criticism involving Erika, some social media users allege that people close to Erika, including Laura Loomer, began looking into Candace's husband, George Farmer. Laura shared an old mugshot and made claims about the reason behind the arrest, according to online posts. Candace quickly pushed back and claimed she had receipts that challenged the narrative being spread. Now here's the rundown, in case you missed Erika's latest public appearance. On April 30th, Erika sat down in Charlie's chair wearing all black, and during that interview, she claimed Candace Owens had accused her in connection with her husband's passing. She also described waking up to nonstop criticism and accusations online, according to clips shared across social media.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I'm my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
But that claim sparked pushback because Candace's supporters argued she never made that direct accusation. What Candace did do, according to online discussions, was question parts of the official story surrounding Charlie's passing, including Erika's whereabouts that day, how quickly she appeared to return to public life, her role in shaping Charlie's legacy, and allegations tied to TPUSA's finances. Those claims remain disputed, and no official confirmation has been provided on many of the points being debated. Candace never directly said Erika personally caused harm to her husband, according to her supporters, and many viewers believe Erika's version of the statement may have been used to make Candace look more extreme. Critics claimed the moment was meant to discredit Candace's broader questions, though Erika's supporters have denied that interpretation, and that was only the start of the online mess. After that interview, critics claimed Erika's online supporters went after Candace across social media. Laura Loomer joined the discussion and shared a mugshot of Candace's husband, George Farmer, while suggesting there was more to the story. The situation immediately triggered backlash because many people felt the framing was too aggressive. Laura posted, "Exclusive. I've obtained the alleged mugshot of Candace Owens' British husband, George Farmer, from his alleged arrest in Nashville, Tennessee. Candace, do you want to explain this to your audience, or should I? Last week, you said you had nothing to hide." Then the controversy grew even more complicated. Laura also shared what she described as a police report involving a vehicle incident and alleged impaired driving. However, online users quickly disputed whether the report was connected to George at all. The post drew even more attention after it received a community note. According to the note, the arrest report did not belong to Candace's husband, British-born Thomas Stall Farmer. The note also pointed to several concerns with the document, including typos, an incorrect birth date, and a different hair color listed in the report. Because of that, many social media users argued the post created more confusion than clarity. People online quickly called the situation reckless, especially after the community note raised questions about the report. Instead of damaging Candace's credibility, critics said the post may have backfired and made Erika's side look overly aggressive. Social media users accused Laura of spreading misleading information to distract from the larger questions Candace had been raising, though the dispute remains part of a broader online fight. Candace also responded strongly to the claims and pointed to information she said challenged the story about George. Her supporters argued that the attacks had crossed a line once family members were brought into the conversation. From there, the debate became a full online battle, with both sides making claims while viewers tried to figure out what was actually verified. The fact that Laura allegedly kept the post up after people questioned the report made the backlash louder. Critics online said it suggested there was a strong push to damage Candace's reputation, while Candace's supporters claimed the repeated attacks showed her critics were nervous about what she might say next. Others pushed back and argued that Candace's claims still needed stronger evidence. But then the situation got even messier. After Laura Loomer's post about Candace's husband faced heavy criticism, Erika's allies connected to TPUSA allegedly joined the discussion. TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvett shared screenshots of an alleged text exchange between Candace and former TPUSA employee Aubrey, claiming the messages showed Candace joking about Erika and her husband. Aubrey then stepped in and disputed Andrew's framing. She accused him of misrepresenting the conversation and using the screenshots in a way that shaped a different narrative. Aubrey wrote, "Andrew, this isn't a misunderstanding. It's a very obvious spin. Calling that bragging is just not a serious interpretation. You're doing exactly what Candace said, avoiding the truth and hoping people won't notice." That reply caught attention because someone directly connected to the exchange was publicly challenging how the conversation was being presented. Instead of hurting Candace, some viewers felt Andrew's post opened the door to more scrutiny about how private messages were being shared and framed online. Critics accused TPUSA figures of selectively posting screenshots to influence public opinion, while supporters denied that anything misleading had happened. At the same time, Candace's supporters argued that the repeated criticism aimed at her looked increasingly coordinated. They pointed to the mugshot post, the disputed police report, and the leaked text messages as examples of what they viewed as an effort to discredit her. Others online said the feud had turned into a nonstop media circus, with each new post creating another round of accusations, responses, and confusion. Aubrey did not stop there. She essentially told them to either post the full conversation or stop framing the story in a selective way. That made more people suspicious that clips and screenshots were being shown without enough context. Critics online said it looked like some people were searching for anything that could be used against Candace, even though the claims remain heavily disputed. Then the situation became even more intense after some commentators began suggesting Candace had ties to Russian intelligence.
His name is Alexander Dugin, who is sanctioned by the U.S. government because of his influence operations, who has said that his strategy is to stir up hatred and discord within the United States. No, it always has to be war, 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 and so that America starts to rip itself apart. And guess what? That Russian intelligence agent interacts with Candace Owens.
Many viewers mocked that claim and said the accusations were becoming more extreme. Others argued that instead of addressing the actual questions Candace was raising, her critics were leaning on dramatic labels and distractions. No official confirmation has been provided for those claims. Social media users immediately reacted. One person on X wrote, "Did Larry Looney come up with that? You guys sure are attacking Candace with a lot of propaganda. You just can't handle truth tellers." Another user posted, "LOL. You don't believe this. This is the psyop sent against Candace because you all are mad that your Black Widow friend is being exposed for the Jezebel and Delilah she is." While the internet continued reacting, Candace added more to the controversy by claiming TPUSA was facing internal problems. According to her commentary, that behind-the-scenes tension could be part of the reason Erika and her allies appeared so concerned. The allegation remains unverified, but it quickly became another major point in the online discussion. Candace claimed the issues inside TPUSA had allegedly been building for some time and were now spilling into public view. According to her version of events, the organization was facing internal tension, while former allies questioned each other and private disagreements became public. That claim sparked another wave of online discussion, as people wondered how serious the alleged internal problems might be. Supporters of Candace argued that the repeated attacks against her were less about protecting the truth and more about controlling the narrative before more information came out. Critics disagreed and accused everyone involved of turning serious allegations into online entertainment for clicks and attention. Either way, the dispute has grown far beyond a simple political disagreement, and every new post seems to pull more people into the controversy. Candace then made another major claim that sparked strong reactions online. She alleged that TPUSA Chief of Staff Mikey McCoy reached out to her through a third party and encouraged her to look into TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvett over a possible conspiracy. That allegation raised more questions online because viewers began wondering what kind of internal conflict might be happening behind the scenes at TPUSA.
Turning Point USA people telling me to look further into Andrew Colvett. Was it Aubrey, as he tries to insinuate? It was Mikey McCoy. Mikey McCoy got a message out to me via a third-party person that I should look more into Andrew Colvett. Why would Mikey McCoy say that I should look more into? When I did look into, things got very shady. And that's when I started going, who the hell is Andrew Colvett, actually? He's obviously not a very good PR agent. Everybody can see that. Who is Andrew Colvett? What are his ties?
At the same time, Erika's online supporters tried to claim Candace had taken back her allegations against Erika. Candace responded directly and denied that she had walked anything back. She wrote, "I have not retracted a single claim I have made about Erika Kirk. Stop with the BS Twitter trends. I stand by every single statement I have made and have not edited any of my past statements. In light of Brian Harpole's lawsuit, I look forward to the power of subpoena." That response reignited the controversy because Candace made it clear she was not backing down from her public claims. For context, Brian Harpole, who was reportedly Charlie's head of security on the day he passed away, is now suing Candace over statements connected to the Fort Huachuca story, accusing her of spreading false information. Candace has denied retracting her claims, and the legal dispute remains ongoing. The lawsuit added another major layer to the drama because the fight had moved beyond social media posts and into a legal setting. Supporters of Candace argued that subpoenas and court filings could eventually reveal private communications and behind-the-scenes details that have not been made public. Critics argued the growing number of allegations was creating more confusion as different sides continued pushing competing versions of events. At this point, the situation has turned into a non-stop public dispute involving former allies, political influencers, lawsuits, leaked messages, and competing narratives moving across the internet. Instead of slowing down, the tension appears to be increasing. As more people speak out, more claims are challenged, and both sides insist they have information to support their version of the story. Harpole's lawyer posted the lawsuit publicly on X and wrote, "On behalf of Brian Harpole, I filed this defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens and Mitchell Snow. We will not be providing any other statements. You can follow me for updates." That post got people talking because some online viewers thought it was unusual for such a serious legal matter to be shared in a social media format, while also encouraging people to follow the account for updates. Candace also pushed back against the claims in the lawsuit. She questioned why Harpole was blaming her for losing clients and contracts, instead of the public fallout connected to Charlie Kirk's passing, while Harpole was reportedly serving as head of security. Candace's supporters argued that the growing backlash against her showed she was touching on topics certain people did not want discussed. Critics pushed back and accused everyone involved of escalating a serious situation for attention and influence online. One of the biggest points sparking debate is Erika's reaction throughout the controversy. Critics have asked why Erika appears more publicly upset with Candace and online commentators than with the person accused in connection with Charlie's death. People online have repeatedly pointed back to the emotional moment shortly after the tragedy, when Erika publicly said she forgave Tyler Robinson.
Young man. I forgive him.
She reportedly said, "That young man, I forgive him." That statement surprised many viewers. Now, critics are comparing that response to the anger Erika has shown toward people questioning her online. Some internet users claim Erika appears more emotional when responding to criticism, jokes, skits, or commentary about herself than when discussing the tragedy involving her husband. Others argue that grief is complicated and that outsiders should not judge how someone reacts after a traumatic event. That contrast is why the debate around Erika keeps getting more intense online. Some viewers believe her reactions toward critics have added more suspicion and controversy instead of calming things down. Others argue that everyone processes grief differently and that people on the internet may be unfairly analyzing emotional responses during an extremely painful situation. Still, the conversation continues because every interview, post, and public statement is being examined in real time by both supporters and critics. Meanwhile, Candace and her audience continue framing the backlash against her as a sign that powerful people are nervous about the questions she is asking. On the other side, critics insist Candace is spreading speculation without enough evidence. Either way, the situation has become one of the most talked about online political dramas, and the accusations, lawsuits, and public feuds show no clear sign of cooling down.
Everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me, and I wanted to meet some of them face to face.
In another moment, That had people raising their eyebrows. Erika brought up an interaction involving the Daily Mail and mentioned that the first thing a journalist supposedly told her was how beautiful she looked. That comment sparked reactions online because many viewers were confused about why that detail mattered during such a serious discussion.
A journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's and myself."
Critics argued that Erika seemed highly focused on comments about her appearance and online mockery, instead of addressing the larger controversy surrounding events after Charlie's passing. Some people also pointed out that Erika had previously claimed she did not pay attention to haters or spend time reading negative comments online because she was supposedly too busy for that. That perceived contradiction fueled more debate across social media.
No, totally. There'll be people that are like, "Did you see what they're saying about you on X?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have time. I don't have time." And actually, quite frankly, I really do not care. I am actually really busy right now playing Magna Tiles, and that is way more
and changing
important.
diapers.
Yeah.
Others online argued that much of the backlash might have been avoided if Erika had stepped away from the spotlight for a while after the tragedy and focused on her family privately. Critics especially pointed out that Erika had publicly encouraged traditional family roles in the past, which made some people question why she remained so active in political and media spaces afterward. At the same time, many viewers acknowledged that Erika initially received enormous public sympathy following Charlie's death before the online drama escalated. A lot of people online are now saying the public sympathy Erika once had may have started fading as the interviews, social media battles, and public disputes continued piling up. Critics argue that every new response seems to create more controversy instead of putting rumors to rest. Supporters of Erika insist she has every right to defend herself publicly after becoming the target of nonstop accusations and speculation across the internet. At the center of all this is a growing divide between people who believe Candace is exposing uncomfortable questions and people who think the situation has turned into reckless online drama. Either way, the conflict has become a massive political and social media spectacle, with each side accusing the other of manipulation, dishonesty, and trying to control the narrative, while millions of viewers continue watching the fallout. A lot of people online believe Erika could have stepped away from the spotlight and handled her grief privately after everything that happened. Instead, critics point to how quickly she returned to public appearances, including walking out on stage to loud cheers and fireworks, while smiling for cameras shortly after her husband's death. Since then, some viewers have noticed she has continued appearing at events, interviews, and photo opportunities, which has added more debate around her public image. Now critics are saying that if even a small portion of Candace's claims were ever supported by evidence, the fallout could seriously affect Erika's public narrative, image, branding, and support base. Some online users argue that Erika seems more focused on protecting her reputation and defending TPUSA than directly answering the questions people keep asking. Others believe the repeated criticism aimed at Candace, including comments from Laura Loomer and other TPUSA allies, makes the situation look more suspicious to some viewers. The claims remain disputed, and supporters of Erika deny that anything improper is being hidden. According to critics, every time Erika focuses on challenging Candace instead of addressing the questions directly, more people begin questioning the bigger picture for themselves. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband.
Before we get to that, the response has just been brutal, okay? Everyone is calling her out. They're saying that the look is wrong. People are making fun of saying that she looks like she came dressed up as the assassin that was walking up the stairs. Guys, straight to jail, straight to jail. For questioning at least Erika. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. Really, you'll be wasting.
So Erika Kirk appears to be done with the online drama, and according to online discussions, she made that clear when reports claimed she was considering or pursuing a major libel and defamation case involving Candace Owens. The situation has become so intense that rumors even started spreading that people close to Candace may be frustrated with the ongoing controversy, though those claims remain unverified. A lot of viewers are now asking whether this is the moment Candace slows down and stops making Erika Kirk a major focus of her content. For months, according to social media reactions, Candace has been heavily focused on Erika Kirk, including an investigative-style series filled with questions, theories, and ongoing commentary. But here's where the situation gets complicated. Even with all the videos and online discussion, Candace has not clearly stated in one direct public sentence that Erika was responsible for her husband's passing. Much of her content appears to center on public information, commentary, and questions that have already circulated online. And in legal terms, some viewers believe that may make a defamation case harder to prove. Now people are questioning what the case is really focused on, and what evidence, if any, could be behind it. Now people are seriously asking questions. Is Erika trying to defend her name and seek accountability? Or do some viewers believe this situation is also putting the spotlight back on her?
I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it.
At this point, Erika Kirk does not appear to be trying to stay friendly with Candace Owens anymore. The tension between them has reportedly been building for a long time, and even though they once seemed to keep things somewhat respectful for Charlie's sake, that public calm appeared to fall apart after Erika became connected to the controversy surrounding the White House Correspondents' Dinner event. Just days after the incident, Erika appeared on The Charlie Kirk Show and addressed several issues that had been discussed online. She spoke about the event itself, what she believed may have contributed to the public reaction, the online response, and her ongoing issues with Candace Owens. Erika suggested that the internet has become a major part of what is wrong with the world right now because, in her view, people have been relentlessly criticizing and targeting her for months.
I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens. This is what got my husband killed.
She also mentioned Drusky by name, saying his white-face comedy skit had upset her and added more pressure to an already tense public conversation. But the moment that really made viewers pause was when she started talking directly about Candace. That is when the conversation became much more serious. According to Erika, Candace had repeatedly suggested or implied that Erika was somehow connected to her husband's passing, though Candace and her supporters have disputed that interpretation.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
Some viewers believed that was the main point Erika had wanted to address from the beginning. Even though she spoke for nearly 9 minutes, critics claimed she spent less time addressing wider questions surrounding herself, TPUSA, or the Correspondents' Dinner controversy. Instead, Erika focused heavily on the media, accusing reporters and online commentators of dehumanizing her and turning her into a target for nonstop criticism. But according to many viewers, the conversation kept circling back to Candace Owens and the accusations Erika believed were being pushed against her. That is when some viewers began looking at the situation differently. People started wondering whether Erika was mainly focused on clearing up public concerns, or whether she was also trying to confront a very personal feud with Candace in front of the entire internet. And according to online commentary, this tension did not appear out of nowhere. Ever since Charlie Kirk passed away, Candace Owens has discussed multiple theories and questions surrounding the situation, and each new discussion seemed to pull more people into the controversy. At different points, internet conversations included possible government involvement, foreign connections, and other disputed theories. None of those claims have been officially confirmed, but each time Candace spoke, the speculation appeared to grow more intense online. As the theories kept spreading, The internet turned the entire situation into a non-stop debate, and Erika ended up right in the middle of it, whether she wanted to be or not. Every new video, live stream, or viral post seemed to push the drama further, and people began picking sides like it was an online battle instead of a real personal tragedy.
All right, you guys, straight to jail, for questioning at least Erika. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. If the situations were reversed and there were this many verifiable lies that Charlie told regarding the murder or assassination of his wife, Charlie would be in prison awaiting trial. And I actually agree with that assessment. We are way beyond coincidence. This is now a full-blown conspiracy.
Candace's supporters argued that she was simply asking questions and connecting dots based on information already available to the public. They claimed she never directly accused Erika of causing Charlie's passing and said she was exercising free speech by discussing suspicious details that had already become part of online conversation. But Erika and her supporters saw things very differently. From their perspective, the repeated speculation, constant theories, and ongoing commentary created an environment where some people began blaming Erika anyway, even without one direct public accusation. That is why the possible legal dispute became such a major topic online. Now, the internet appears split down the middle. Some people believe Erika is finally standing up for herself after months of public criticism, while others think this legal fight could open a larger conversation about where commentary ends and defamation begins. So naturally, once those theories started spreading online, the attention quickly shifted toward the people closest to Charlie, especially TPUSA and members of his inner circle. Candace Owens began raising questions about certain people around him, including disputed allegations about loyalty, internal disagreements, and financial decisions behind the scenes. Those claims remain contested, and no official confirmation has been provided. And when Candace spoke about Erika, some viewers felt she was not being subtle. According to online reactions, she described Erika as someone people should question, someone whose story deserved more scrutiny, and someone the public should pay close attention to. At one point, Candace reportedly suggested that Erika should be questioned by authorities in connection with Charlie's passing. That comment alone divided the internet before any verified proof was presented. But then the situation escalated further when Candace launched the Bride of Chucky series, and that is when many viewers said the conflict started feeling deeply personal. Instead of focusing only on recent controversies, Candace reportedly dug into Erika's past, discussing her upbringing, family background, personal relationships, and people she had allegedly been connected to over the years. The allegations became heavier with every episode. Candace questioned whether Erika had accurately described parts of her background, discussed alleged connections to powerful figures, and brought up disputed online speculation involving controversial social circles connected to names like Epstein. These claims remain unverified and strongly disputed online. Some viewers felt the commentary went beyond political criticism and started sounding like a full character takedown. And once allegations like that begin spreading online, they can take on a life of their own. By the time Erika finally sat down to address everything publicly, the situation had clearly become bigger than one comment, one rumor, or one disagreement. It had turned into a public battle where reputations, careers, and personal lives were all being discussed in front of a massive audience. By that point, some viewers felt Erika looked overwhelmed by how far the situation had spiraled online. What may have started as internet commentary had become non-stop speculation, viral clips, reaction videos, and strangers picking apart details of her life. The pressure surrounding her name appeared to grow louder with each new accusation and every fresh theory posted online. At the same time, Candace's supporters continued defending her, arguing that investigative commentary and public criticism are protected forms of speech, especially when discussing public figures and public information. They claimed Candace was asking difficult questions that other people were too nervous to ask publicly. But critics saw something very different unfolding. Many people felt the repeated theories and dramatic framing were creating a narrative that pushed audiences toward assumptions before verified facts had been proven. That is a major reason this controversy gained so much attention across social media and political circles. Now, the stakes seem higher than ever, because this dispute could become about more than just Erika and Candace. Some people think it may test how far online personalities can go when discussing controversial topics before commentary crosses into defamation territory. Others believe it is simply another huge internet feud that grew beyond anyone's control, and neither side appears ready to back down. At this point, it seemed to some viewers like Erika had been keeping track of everything and was ready to respond with what she believed was a strong case against Candace. But Candace was not about to let Erika's public statement pass without responding. Soon after clips from Erika's appearance started spreading online, Candace went onto Twitter and doubled down. She posted, "Very uncomfortable to watch. Painful prompter read, a speech clearly written by someone else. Objectively terrible, so they will now pay for people to tell us otherwise. Also, of everything I've said about Erika, she chooses to respond to something I never said. They always lie." That last line immediately caught people's attention. Because, technically, Candace has argued that she never directly stated Erika was responsible for Charlie's passing in one clear public sentence. But at the same time, many viewers felt the repeated theories, suspicions, and insinuations over several months may have encouraged audiences to draw those conclusions on their own. So when Erika finally addressed it directly, some viewers felt she was responding less to one specific statement and more to the overall narrative Candace had been building online. But instead of trying to calm the situation down or find middle ground, Candace appeared to push back even harder, which only raised the tension again. Instead, Candace kept pressing forward as if she had no intention of stepping away from the controversy. The online back and forth quickly became more intense, as supporters on both sides flooded social media with clips, screenshots, old interviews, and competing theories about what was happening behind the scenes. For Erika, the situation reportedly became more than internet gossip. According to people discussing the story online, she believed the constant speculation was seriously damaging her reputation and turning her into a target of public suspicion. And once large audiences start repeating the same narratives online, even indirect accusations can begin to feel difficult to escape. Meanwhile, Candace's supporters argued that she was being unfairly criticized for expressing opinions and discussing public information. They claimed Erika was trying to silence criticism by turning the conflict into a legal matter instead of directly answering the questions being raised online. But critics of Candace believe the issue goes deeper than simple commentary. They argue that repeatedly framing someone in a suspicious light, while connecting them to alarming theories and controversial figures, can strongly influence public opinion even without one direct accusation being stated out loud. Now, the internet is watching closely because the situation has grown far beyond a personal feud. What began as online commentary has turned into a major public battle involving politics, media influence, reputation, and the blurry line between speculation and defamation. Instead of backing away from the drama, Candace went back onto her podcast and doubled down once again. She insisted she had never lied about Erika and made it clear that she believed the real issue was credibility.
So yeah, across the board, people are laughing, they're mocking it, they're saying it was, you're lying, and also it's just weird. It was weird and it was awkward. And speaking of the lying, which, like I said, many people called out right away, as that person said, "I've never made that statement on this podcast."
At that point, the situation started turning into a public battle over one big question: who was telling the truth and who could prove it? Because accusing someone of defamation sounds major online, but legally proving it in court is an entirely different challenge. As soon as Candace pushed back publicly, people started questioning whether Erika had enough evidence to make a serious case move forward. But Erika's side did not stay silent for long. Almost immediately, alleged receipts and screenshots started circulating across social media, and one particular message caught a lot of attention. According to online discussions, the screenshot allegedly showed Candace texting a former TPUSA employee shortly before a private sit-down meeting with Erika. The authenticity and full context of the screenshot have been disputed online. That meeting had originally been presented as an attempt to calm tensions and clear the air between both sides. Publicly, it sounded like they were planning to talk things out privately and possibly settle the conflict away from internet chaos. But if the screenshot circulating online was authentic, some viewers believed it painted a different picture. In the alleged exchange, the former employee reportedly asked Candace what she planned to say during the meeting with Erika. Candace's alleged response immediately triggered a strong reaction across social media because the message reportedly read, "I'm asking everything. First question, why did you murder your husband?" That alleged screenshot reignited the controversy because many people felt it contradicted Candace's repeated position that she had not accused Erika of being connected to Charlie's passing. Candace's supporters, however, argued that the message needed context and should not be treated as a confirmed public accusation. The moment that alleged text started spreading online, the conversation around the possible lawsuit shifted again. People who had previously defended Candace by saying she never directly accused Erika suddenly found themselves debating whether that alleged message crossed a serious line. Supporters of Erika pointed to the screenshot as something they believed supported their concerns that the accusations and suspicions were not just random internet interpretations. In their view, the alleged message suggested Candace may have been privately framing Erika in a damaging way before the public fallout intensified online. Still, the claim remains disputed, and no official confirmation has settled the matter. Meanwhile, Candace's supporters questioned the screenshot itself and argued that private messages can be taken out of context, edited, or misrepresented once they spread across social media. Others claimed that even if the message was real, it would not automatically prove legal defamation without stronger evidence showing false factual claims and direct harm. But regardless of which side people believed, one thing became clear to viewers. The feud had moved beyond simple internet gossip. What started as commentary videos and online speculation was now turning into a serious public relations and legal debate involving leaked messages, political personalities, and nonstop scrutiny from millions of viewers online. And the more receipts, screenshots, and allegations that surfaced, the harder it became for either side to control the narrative. Every new detail appeared to add another layer to an already tense situation, and people everywhere were waiting to see how the story would develop. The alleged message reportedly even included crying emojis at the end, and when that screenshot hit social media, the conversation shifted again. For Erika's supporters, that was the moment they believed everything clicked into place. To them, it did not matter whether the comment was written casually, sarcastically, or with emojis attached. They argued that a statement like that could still reinforce the narrative Candace had been building around Erika for months online. From their perspective, the damage had already been done because large audiences had spent months hearing theories, suspicions, and repeated commentary surrounding Erika's name. So when that alleged text surfaced, many people felt it supported what they believed Candace had been implying behind the scenes all along. But Candace pushed back quickly and rejected the interpretation people were running with. She argued that critics were reaching too far and insisted the emojis made it obvious the message was not meant to be taken seriously. According to Candace, it was sarcasm, not a factual accusation. And she suggested that if this screenshot was the foundation of Erika's defamation case, then the case would be weak, before ever reaching a judge. Then the drama took another turn. Despite growing pressure online, including rumors that people close to Candace were uncomfortable with the situation, Candace still refused to back down. She did not appear to remove videos, soften her language, or calm the controversy. Instead, she came back with more pointed questions about Erika's actions. One of the biggest questions Candace reportedly raised was why Erika had attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner in the first place. And that sparked another wave of speculation online as people began dissecting every detail connected to the controversy. That question alone sent social media into another round of debate, because people immediately started asking whether Candace was genuinely looking for answers or keeping the controversy alive for her audience. Every interview, appearance, and public statement connected to Erika suddenly got examined by people online looking for hidden meanings and motives. Candace continued pushing the idea that there were unanswered questions surrounding the situation, and her supporters praised her for refusing to stay quiet under pressure. They argued that public figures should be questioned openly, and that controversial topics should not become off-limits just because legal threats entered the picture. But critics saw the situation very differently. Many people felt Candace was continuing to stir public suspicion around Erika in ways that could seriously damage her reputation. especially after months of intense online speculation. Some viewers even believe the constant focus on Erika had started to look less like commentary and more like a personal fixation. Meanwhile, Erika's supporters became even more vocal, arguing that no matter how Candace framed her words publicly, the repeated theories and suggestive comments had already shaped public opinion in a major way. And because the internet moves so fast, every new podcast, clip, tweet, or leaked screenshot made the situation feel more intense by the day. At this point, the feud had grown far beyond two people arguing online. It had become a major internet controversy involving politics, media influence, public perception, and the speed at which online narratives can spiral beyond anyone's control. As many people already know, Charlie Kirk was not known as a major supporter of the press, and he had publicly criticized events like the White House Correspondents' Dinner more than once. Candace leaned into that point heavily, arguing that Erika's decision to attend the event did not seem to match the views Charlie had expressed publicly for years.
The reason that she gives for people asking that question, why did you go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner? You literally just said you couldn't do your UGA commitment because there were credible threats and you couldn't trust the Secret Service to absolve them. Then you did an event with Trump, which relied upon the Secret Service. And then now you're doing another event and it's like a press event, right? That actually Charlie hated. He always made fun of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So why do you feel obliged to show up here?
But she did not stop there. Candace also started calling out what she viewed as hypocrisy surrounding the reactions to the event. She pointed to the fact that Erika had criticized journalists and attendees for recording during the dangerous situation, while, according to online discussion, someone connected to TPUSA's own circle had allegedly done something similar during the incident involving Charlie. That comparison remains disputed and depends heavily on context. That comparison immediately sparked another wave of arguments online because people once again split into sides over whether Candace was exposing contradictions or simply keeping the drama alive longer. The comparison quickly became another major talking point across social media because people interpreted it in very different ways. Supporters of Candace argued that she was exposing double standards and forcing uncomfortable conversations that others were too afraid to have publicly. To them, Erika and people connected to TPUSA were criticizing behavior in one situation while allegedly overlooking similar actions closer to home. Critics believed Candace was once again shifting the conversation toward personal criticism instead of focusing on verified facts. They argued that every new comparison, theory, or pointed question only added more pressure to an already emotionally charged situation surrounding Charlie's passing and the controversies connected to it. At the same time, online audiences kept digging through old clips, interviews, and social media posts looking for anything that could support either side. The internet had turned this feud into a non-stop public investigation, with thousands of people treating every statement like a clue in a much larger mystery. And the wild part is that neither side seemed interested in backing down. Erika appeared determined to defend her reputation publicly and legally, while Candace kept presenting herself as someone refusing to be silenced by criticism or legal threats. That is why the situation kept escalating, because every response from one side immediately triggered an even louder response from the other.
Charlie. They just Charlie. They just Charlie.
But Candace still was not finished pushing back. She also focused heavily on Erika's own statements because, according to Candace, parts of Erika's explanation did not fully add up. On one side, Erika claimed she was staying above the online chaos, avoiding headlines, and focusing on her family and the organization instead of internet drama. But then, at the same time, she said she attended the dinner partly to confront journalists and media figures she supposedly was not paying attention to in the first place.
Pretty sure that when she sat down with Caroline Levitt on stage at a Turning Point event, she says that she didn't read the headlines, she doesn't care, she's completely removed. We've been told over and over again that she's just not aware of what's going on. Now she's saying, I actually went to this event because I needed to confront these journalists who day in and day out, I actually know their names, which is more than I could say. I actually don't know the names of all the journalists who write articles about me. I don't care to learn about their lives. I actually virtually never give them statements. My PR isn't open.
And that alleged contradiction became one of Candace's biggest talking points. She kept circling back to it, questioning whether Erika's public statements were consistent or whether certain parts of the story were being shaped for public sympathy. Erika's supporters, however, argued that her comments were being taken out of context and that attending an event does not automatically contradict avoiding online negativity. At that stage, it seemed clear from Candace's public tone that she was not taking the lawsuit threat seriously. From her perspective, this did not look like someone simply trying to defend their reputation. She framed it more like a battle over controlling the public narrative and shifting attention back toward Erika in the middle of a major controversy. But the claims remain disputed, and viewers are still divided over whether Erika is protecting her name or whether Candace is being unfairly targeted for commentary. Let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you in the next one.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens'
wedding photo. People are speculating. She's already putting on this facade like she's moved on so fast and throwing t-shirts out of a cannon gun at Kirkcello.
So now bank records are being pulled into the wider Erika and Charlie Kirk discussion. And according to online chatter, some of the details have raised questions for viewers. Some reports and social media posts have alleged that Erika Kirk took out a $2 million life insurance policy on Charlie around 2 weeks before he passed away, though those claims remain disputed online and have not been universally confirmed. The conversation grew even louder when online discussions claimed that the insurance company itself may be taking legal action over the policy. According to those claims, the company allegedly questioned whether the policy should have been approved in the first place. No official confirmation has settled the entire debate publicly, but the timeline being discussed has made some viewers watch the situation more closely. Since Charlie passed away, critics online have also questioned Erika's public image, saying they feel she has appeared unusually upbeat compared with what they expected from someone grieving such a major loss. Some people are now arguing online that Erika has shifted the direction of what Charlie spent years building, and even some longtime TPUSA supporters appear uncomfortable with how everything looks. With the insurance story circulating online, many are asking whether this is just unfortunate timing or whether there are deeper issues behind the scenes. Those claims remain unverified, but the speculation has continued to spread.
I just wanted to remind Erika that the average salary for a teacher in this country is $48,000 a year, which is approximately a quarter of the money that she made off the merch after she exploited the death of her late husband.
What really pushed Erika back into the spotlight again, according to many viewers, was not even the reported insurance situation. It was the 9-minute video she posted on The Charlie Kirk Show. Erika appeared dressed head to toe in black, and some viewers online joked that the look felt intense and unusual for the moment. The visuals alone got people talking, but what received the most attention was what she said. In the video, Erika responded to the White House Correspondents' Dinner event by placing blame on the media, liberals, and by bringing Drusky and Candace Owens into the conversation, which left a lot of viewers confused. A lot of people also thought it was strange that Erika attended that dinner in the first place, because Charlie had often criticized traditional media and openly mocked that specific event. That is why viewers immediately questioned why she was there at all, especially since some felt it looked out of step with the image Charlie built for himself and his audience. But Erika defended herself by saying she attended because she wanted to face the journalists who she claims had been writing harsh stories about her since Charlie passed away. She framed it as standing up to people she felt had been targeting her nonstop. Still, many viewers felt the speech was carefully shaped to highlight how emotionally difficult the situation had been for her after another public safety event so soon after losing her husband in a tragic incident. Instead of gaining full sympathy from everyone, though, some people online said the delivery felt forced, while others defended her and said she was speaking from pain. For nearly the entire 9 minutes, some viewers felt Erika moved the focus away from the wider situation and made the conversation largely about herself. Online reactions were especially mixed over the dramatic tone, with critics saying it felt more like a performance than a serious discussion, while supporters argued she had every right to speak emotionally. Others claimed that instead of calming tensions down, Erika appeared to place blame on political opponents and public figures in a way that made the backlash grow louder. Social media reacted fast, and some longtime supporters began questioning whether her approach was helping Charlie's legacy or creating more controversy around it. What made the reaction even more intense was the timing. Right as criticism over her public behavior was already building, the reported insurance claims entered the conversation too, and that combination pushed some viewers into full suspicion mode. The claims remain unverified, but the internet kept connecting the dots anyway. Instead of addressing the serious questions people were asking about accountability, TPUSA, and Charlie's legacy, many viewers felt Erika focused on topics they saw as distractions. She also brought Candace Owens into the discussion and claimed Candace had accused her of being connected to her husband's passing, which made the online drama grow even more.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
But that moment ended up causing more debate because Candace's response led many viewers to question Erika's version of events. Before getting into what Candace said, it is important to understand why some people had already started looking at Erika with suspicion after Charlie passed away. Because the insurance rumors did not appear in a vacuum. Not long after Charlie's passing, rumors spread online claiming Erika may have received around $350,000 through a bank transfer days before he passed away. TPUSA insiders later pushed back on that story and said the claims were false, but the speculation still continued across social media. Then things became more controversial when a leaked staff meeting recording began circulating online. In the clip, Erika was said by critics to sound upbeat while discussing how many sales were generated during Charlie's memorial period. That reaction bothered some viewers because critics felt she was publicly presenting herself as the grieving widow protecting her late husband's mission, while privately appearing more focused on business numbers. Supporters, however, argued that clips can lack context and should not be treated as proof of wrongdoing. That leaked recording became a turning point online because it changed how some people viewed Erika. Before that, some supporters were still defending her and saying the criticism had gone too far. But after hearing what critics described as an upbeat tone while discussing sales tied to Charlie's memorial, even some loyal followers said they felt uncomfortable.
At like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy.
Critics immediately began connecting the different rumors together. The reported insurance policy, the money speculation, the public appearances, and the way Erika had been acting since Charlie's passing. Fair or not, people online started building a narrative that she seemed more focused on influence and cash flow than protecting the values Charlie had promoted. The allegations remain disputed online, and no official conclusion has confirmed that narrative. And once Candace Owens responded publicly, the situation grew even more. A lot of viewers said Candace came across calm and direct, while Erika appeared emotional and defensive, which pushed some people into questioning Erika's side of the story even more. And just when people thought the backlash around Erika could not get any heavier, critics pointed to another moment that shocked viewers online. According to online discussion, Erika allegedly had the tent where Charlie was harmed reconstructed and allowed fans to pay for photos there. Many people thought that crossed a serious line. Supporters of Charlie said the moment felt less like honoring his memory and more like turning a tragedy into a business opportunity, though others argued it may have been intended as a tribute. People also started comparing Erika's approach to the way Charlie operated during his life. Charlie was known for focusing heavily on conversations, teaching, and building a sense of community around his movement. Yes, he ran successful businesses and understood how to make money, but many longtime followers believed he never made TPUSA feel centered around profit alone. Critics now argue that everything changed once Erika stepped in to lead things after his passing. Despite Charlie often promoting traditional family roles publicly, some people noticed Erika quickly moved into the spotlight herself and started expanding the brand in ways they viewed as more focused on influence, visibility, and financial growth. Supporters deny that this reflects anything improper and say leadership changes are normal after a major loss. Because of all those controversies piling up together, rumors claiming Erika may have known more than she admitted about Charlie's passing started spreading fast online. There is no verified evidence supporting those accusations, and the claims remain highly disputed. But many people believe the growing list of incidents created a pattern that made the speculation harder for the public to ignore. So when Erika suddenly brought up Candace Owens and claimed Candace had accused her of involvement in Charlie's passing, A lot of viewers felt like Erika might have been trying to get ahead of a much bigger conversation before it grew publicly. That is when even more attention shifted toward what Candace Owens had actually been saying behind the scenes and online. People started revisiting old clips, interviews, and comments, trying to figure out whether Erika was exaggerating the situation or reacting to something bigger that was already gaining traction. According to viewers following the drama closely, Candace had not directly made the kind of accusation Erika described during that rant. Instead, Candace appeared to focus more on questioning Erika's behavior after Charlie's passing, the business decisions being made, and the way his legacy was being managed. But once Erika framed it as a personal attack connected to Charlie's passing, the entire conversation became much more intense. Social media immediately split into sides after that. Some people defended Erika and said she was being unfairly targeted during an already tragic situation, while others argued her own actions and public image were creating more suspicion every week. What really caught people off guard was not just that Erika suddenly brought up Candace Owens, it was how random the moment felt during her rant. 1 second she was talking about Trump and First Lady Melania, and then she shifted into talking about how unfairly she felt she had been treated by the media, especially Candace. The transition felt abrupt to many viewers, which made them wonder why Candace was being brought into the conversation at all. Candace did not stay quiet for long. She quickly posted on X and accused Erika of misrepresenting what had been said. Candace wrote, "Of everything I've said about Erika, she chooses to respond to something I never said." That response spread online because many people pointed out that Candace has criticized Erika plenty of times, but she has not directly claimed Erika caused her husband's passing. Instead, Candace has mainly encouraged people to look more closely at Erika's finances, business decisions, public behavior, and connections to influential figures and elite social circles that have already sparked public debate online. Supporters of Candace also argued that most of the topics she discusses come from public records, media reports, and conversations already happening across social media platforms, which made Erika's dramatic reaction seem even more suspicious to critics. That is why a lot of viewers felt Erika may have made the situation worse for herself by bringing Candace back into the spotlight. Instead of shutting the rumors down, people immediately started searching through old interviews, clips, and posts to see exactly what Candace had really said, and many ended up finding even more criticism aimed at Erika's behavior after Charlie's passing. Critics online argued that Erika's response felt overly dramatic compared to the actual comments Candace made publicly. Some even believed Erika was trying to blur the line between criticism and direct accusations so she could gain sympathy and present herself as the target of a coordinated media campaign. That remains an interpretation from online commentary, not a confirmed fact.
Yeah, across the board, people are laughing, they're mocking it, they're saying it was, you're lying, and also it's just weird. It was weird and it was awkward. And speaking of the lying, which, like I said, many people called out right away, as that person said, I've never made that statement on this podcast.
Meanwhile, the internet kept building on the bigger conversation surrounding the reported insurance policy, the leaked staff audio, the memorial sales controversy, and Erika's growing role inside Charlie's organization. By that point, many people felt every new appearance she made only added more attention to the controversies surrounding her name. That is why many people felt Erika suddenly bringing Candace into the drama looked less like a random complaint and more like an attempt to get ahead of a situation that could damage her image. Viewers online immediately started asking why Candace's name came up so strongly if there was supposedly nothing bigger happening behind the scenes. A lot of people also believe that if any questionable details exist surrounding the reported life insurance policy taken out shortly before Charlie's passing, Candace Owens is exactly the kind of person who would keep digging until she found answers. And because Candace has such a large audience online, critics believe any major claims or discoveries would quickly spread to millions of people and create an even bigger storm around Erika. Backlash grew almost immediately after these reports and rumors started circulating. People began heavily criticizing Erika online, which is exactly the kind of public scrutiny many think she was trying to avoid from the start. Critics argued that while financial controversies alone can already damage someone's reputation, things become far more serious when the public starts connecting financial decisions to the passing of a spouse. And instead of calming concerns down, Erika's emotional criticism of her opponents seemed to make everything worse for some viewers. Rather than shifting the narrative in her favor, many felt her responses only created more suspicion and caused people to question her actions even harder. At that point, the conversation online shifted from simple criticism into heavy speculation about Erika's motive, her leadership, and the timing of several major financial decisions tied to Charlie's legacy. Every new report, rumor, or leaked clip seemed to add another layer to the controversy, and people started treating the situation less like internet gossip and more like a serious public scandal. Supporters of Erika argued that she was being unfairly targeted during an incredibly difficult period, and that many accusations spreading online were based on assumptions rather than proven facts. But critics pushed back hard, saying her own public behavior kept creating questions she never fully answered. And the biggest issue for Erika may have been perception. Even without verified proof behind the most extreme claims, many people felt the optics around the reported insurance policy, the business controversies, and the public feuds looked troubling when viewed together. Once public trust starts slipping like that, every move gets analyzed under a microscope, and that is exactly where Erika found herself. Online reactions became even more intense after Erika's appearance on The Charlie Kirk Show. One person joked, "I didn't think she had anything to do with her husband's passing, but then she dressed like Agent 47, so now I'm not so sure." Another commenter wrote, "Erika dressed like an agent while trying to convince everyone she had nothing to do with her husband's passing." Those comments spread quickly across social media, and people kept adding memes, clips, and reactions. But the criticism was not only about her outfit. A lot of viewers also pointed out what they saw as major hypocrisy after Erika shared an old edit of Charlie talking about open dialogue, answering questions, and debating people respectfully. Critics immediately noticed that Erika herself has avoided direct debates and tough public questioning ever since Charlie passed away, which added more frustration among some followers. One viral comment especially grabbed attention online. It said, "But yet Erika has not debated, not even once, with millions of us who disagree with her. Why has she stopped speaking the truth on CK's martyrdom? What is she hiding?" That comment sparked even more speculation because people were already questioning why Erika seemed defensive whenever criticism came her way. Then the situation took a more serious turn. According to claims Candace Owens discussed publicly, Charlie had allegedly ordered a full audit of both his personal finances and TPUSA's financial records shortly before his passing. Once that information started circulating online, people began wondering whether Charlie himself may have suspected something questionable was happening behind the scenes before he passed away. The claim remains part of online discussion and has not been presented here as confirmed fact. That claim immediately triggered more social media debate because people started connecting it to every rumor already surrounding Erika and the organization. Critics argued that if Charlie really had requested a major financial audit shortly before his passing, then it raised even more questions about what was happening internally during that time. Supporters of Erika pushed back hard, though, saying there is no confirmed evidence proving the audit had anything to do with her personally. Others pointed out that large organizations and high-profile public figures often conduct audits for normal business reasons, especially when money, donations, and rapid growth are involved. Still, the timing alone was enough to keep the speculation alive online. People began revisiting old interviews, financial reports, and leaked recordings, trying to piece together a bigger story for themselves. And because Erika had already become such a controversial figure after Charlie's passing, every new detail, whether verified or rumored, kept getting treated like another clue in a growing mystery. And if Charlie was really reviewing financial records like that, then some people believe there is a chance he may have also been looking into Erika's finances, because certain things allegedly were no longer adding up to him. What makes the situation feel more serious to online commentators is the claim that Charlie passed away before he could reportedly see the final results of that audit. That timing has kept people talking nonstop online. Critics keep asking whether it was all just a tragic coincidence or if it points towards something more concerning. Because according to these claims, Charlie may have had concerns before his passing. Unfortunately, nobody knows whether those concerns were connected to anything serious or whether Charlie was simply being cautious at the time. But what people continue to point out is that once Erika stepped in to take control, discussion around the alleged audit seemed to disappear from public view, and Erika herself has repeatedly avoided entertaining questions about it publicly. Now the conversation has moved far beyond random internet rumors for many people. Critics are pointing at reported paperwork, lawsuits, financial timelines, and public behavior they believe keeps raising more questions instead of answers. At the same time, supporters argue that much of the discussion remains unverified, and that online speculation should not be treated as proof. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe,